So anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up and we can talk. Yeah? Okay. Why do people... Oh, my God. Please leave me alone. People keep asking me to go live with them. No, I'm doing debates here. So anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up and we can talk. What does the bracelet say? This one says we fight, we win. You know, Kamala Harris's logo, or I shouldn't say logo, phrase. And this one says emerge. So... Fun fact. Anyway, sorry, let me get back on track. Luke says he's MAGA. Let's give him an invite. If he wants to come up, he's welcome to. Owen says he's MAGA. Let's give him an invite. F TikTok is a guy who also says he's MAGA. Hello, Owen. How old are you, bro?
How old am I?
Bro, you got to be above the age of 18, bro, to be on TikTok live, dude. What the hell is... No, but I like that you're young and being involved in politics. That's good, man. That's good. Hello, bro.
What's up?
Do you vote for Donald Trump?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Why?
Because he's a better person.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that has to be... That's laughable, right? He's a better person. I mean, we're not even... Like, you want to talk about the morals of Donald Trump? You think he's a good person?
Well, let's talk about the border czar. What'd she do? Nothing.
So, you know that the president of the United States can't like designate somebody to be quote unquote border czar, at least give them powers to do that, especially like not the vice president, right?
Well, she was in charge, and what'd she do? She screwed it up.
So, okay, how did if your view is that somehow the vice president has the power to screw up the border, how is that? What did she do to screw it up?
Well, she didn't take the time and to put into work that should have been taken. You know, these all these illegals should have been vetted, but they haven't been. We've lost
so
a lot of American lives lost
like,
because
what did she do specifically? Because if the border was
not a damn thing,
the border secure when Donald Trump was president, that's what you believe?
It was.
Okay, so what did Kamala Harris do to reverse that? If your view is that somehow she messed it up.
She didn't do a damn thing to improve it.
But if she didn't do anything, then theoretically that would mean that all of the regulation that Trump put into place would remain. And if she didn't touch it at all, then Trump's policy would remain. So what did she do specifically that messed up the border? Because you don't know, right? You just want to blame her for something, which is super strange.
Oh no, I'm not just blaming her. I mean,
yes, you are. Yeah, you are.
No, I'm saying she didn't do a thing to improve it. It was a good thing to start with when Trump had it going, but she didn't continue with it. No, nor did the president.
So out of curiosity, like what could have Kamala Harris done by herself that would have made the border better?
She could have went over to Mexico and stayed there.
What?
Come on, man.
No. How does that fix it? I mean, what are you even talking about?
America would have been better without her. She's a joke.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the current. I just find it funny, the dynamic here. Like you were calling the current vice president of the United States, the first black woman vice president of the United States, former attorney general, former district attorney, a very accomplished woman, a joke, and I just find that interesting.
Okay. A very accomplished woman, you say, but okay, let's go back and let's say, how much did she get for her contributions and all this for her presidential race? And how much is she in debt?
Can we finish the conversation on the border first? Because I'm still trying to figure out what Kamala Harris did in your mind specifically that made the border
She didn't do
worse.
anything. In my mind, she didn't do a damn thing.
So she didn't do anything to make the border worse. She's just responsible for the border being worse.
No. See, you're turning the words. She didn't do anything to make the border better.
So what could have Kamala Harris done within her power that she should have done?
I answered your question. Now answer mine.
No, but you didn't answer the question. You see, the thing is, you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how the federal government works. If you think that the vice president of the United States somehow, magically, has the power to just either open or shut the border or even set border policy, then you're delusional. You just don't understand what the vice president does.
Well, according to her and fucking Biden and her one of her what do you call that interviews, she said, would you change anything? She said absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so what would you, out of curiosity, what specifically has Biden done or a decision that he's made that you would have done differently? Or you wish she would have said, I would have done something different, out of curiosity?
Well, I'm glad. I would have voted for her if she had her own opinion of what she wanted to do, but she didn't have that.
That we're all over the place right now, man. I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall here. You said that you have a problem with Kamala Harris saying that she wouldn't have done anything different in terms of the major things than Joe Biden. What would you want her to? How would you like her to answer that question? What would you have wanted her to say she would have done differently?
I wanted her, or I would have liked to hear her say something to the fact that this is her opinion and this is her decision and this is what she wants to do.
So she did that in a number of speeches. She had like an entire website as well of policy, and she frequently talked about what she wanted to do as president of the United States. You just didn't listen.
No, I listened.
Okay, so what did she want to do on housing?
Oh, she wants to build more housing, raise the cost. We got all these immigrants here.
Oh my! So you don't know what she wanted to do on housing? Okay, so that's
all right.
Exactly
You
what
tell
I'm
me
saying.
what you want. Tell me.
You didn't give Kamala Harris the time to actually learn her policy, and you just want to blame her for everything, or Joe Biden.
Oh no! I'm not blaming her. I'm not blaming her.
You're saying that she didn't do anything to solve the border, and I'm still yet to hear an answer as to what she could have done to solve it.
Well, she should have took it up with the Senate and did something to make our border safer.
Yeah, so they tried. They tried to pass a bipartisan immigration bill that was written by Democrats and Republicans. You know what happened to that bill?
Tell me.
Donald Trump killed it. He said at a rally, if the bill fails, please blame me. Mike Johnson on Fox News, while talking to Laura Ingraham in an interview he did all the way back then, said that he got a call from Donald Trump talking about how he didn't like the bill and how he was calling members telling him he didn't like the bill. That bill included things like hiring more Border Patrol agents, investing in technology at the border to scan for drugs, expanding immigration courts, giving the president the ability to shut down the border or having the border be legally shut down, required to be shut down if it met a certain threshold of encounters. Those are probably things that you agree with, and Kamala Harris agrees with, Joe Biden agrees with, some Senate Republicans agree with. But Donald Trump killed that bill so his campaign would be benefited, and you voted for him anyway.
Okay. Donald Trump was not in office when they say he killed it. How could he have any influence over that?
Yeah. So in politics, you don't just have influence or power if you are in office. So if somebody has been nominated by a major party to be their presidential nominee, they obviously have influence over the over the party, because a majority of the party voted for them to lead the party. So Donald Trump, who still, I think we'd all agree, has enormous influence, especially now, enormous influence over the Republican Party. When he tells people to vote against something, they probably will, because if they don't, then Donald Trump won't endorse them. He'll endorse their opponent, and they'll lose, and things like that.
So all these celebrities don't have no power? I mean, what? Taylor Swift. I don't know, Megan Thee Stallion. All these people got paid all this money. Beyonce.
They didn't get paid money.
They did.
No, they did not. That's like a widespread lie. They did not get paid money. Beyonce only got her. Beyonce's like construction company or production company, not construction. Production company got paid $2 million to set up a setup like a stage for the event that she had with Kamala Harris, but nothing further than that. She didn't get money to support her.
All right. Okay. Okay. Now I got a question for you.
Okay.
Donald Trump cut off the XL pipeline. North Dakota, South Dakota.
Donald Trump.
Was that good or bad?
Did you mean to say Joe Biden?
Well, I don't know. Give a damn who did it.
So the Keystone XL pipeline was ended under Joe Biden. But it wasn't just ended by Joe Biden. It was ended because of a variety of reasons. It had legal issues. It was being sued by tribal groups, and the permits were kind of up in the air, and it wouldn't have benefited anything. And now Donald Trump's saying he's going to bring it back on day one, which is utter nonsense, because his idea is that, I'm going to bring back this pipeline. It's going to reduce gas prices. A pipeline has never reduced gas prices. The construction of a pipeline has never done that. You can look through history. There's never been an example. What the fuck? There's never been an example of a pipeline reducing gas prices. When the Keystone pipeline itself was built in around 2004, gas prices stayed high for the next 4 years, around $1 higher. So this idea that the Keystone XL pipeline would have either reduced prices or Trump bringing it back is going to reduce prices is just utter nonsense.
Okay, so in '84, I was down in Texas. I was doing a lot of drilling on oil. We did a lot of fracking. We did a lot of capping. We found oil, but we capped it. That was back in '84.
Okay.
We have our own natural resources. Why are we bringing it in from other countries?
So we're drilling more oil right now than ever before in American history. So we're actually producing more than under Donald Trump than any country in the world right now.
Well, okay. So then, why the hell did Biden stop the pipeline? It helped the country. It gave people jobs.
No, it did. It wasn't going to give permanent jobs. There's only about like a handful of permanent jobs in each state. It had construction jobs that would have built it, but it wasn't going to have like long-term positive job growth. They were very temporary, right? And the reason it was stopped was, again, because there were legal challenges, and its construction would have had more cons than pros. The cons being, well, what if there's an oil spill? It takes a lot of money to clean that up. It hurts the environment. It's not actually going to help oil prices or gas prices go down at the pump. It's not going to do any of that. It was only going to help a Canadian oil company move their oil to the Gulf of Mexico, then refine it and sell it abroad so they could make a profit, not us. It wasn't going to help anything here in the United States. So that's why it was canceled inevitably. And of course, it had legal issues. So there's no benefit to it, or no real benefit.
Okay. Here's my point of view. Okay, I am a Native American. I worked on an oil pipeline in North Dakota, and I've been to the protest up there in Standing Rock. I've seen it all from both sides. I've seen the benefits from both sides. The largest aquifer in America is right there in North Dakota, South Dakota area, Nebraska.
Okay.
That was the whole reason the natives, not only that, but because of the sacred land, they protested it, and I agree with them. And, I don't know.
So you don't agree with Donald Trump's proposal to bring it back on day one, which, by the way, is impossible, but you don't agree with that?
I agree that he brings it back, but he needs to bring it back through a different route because that's the largest aquifer in America.
Well, okay. All right.
Okay, if oil spills there, what's it going to do to the environment? It's going to fuck it up. Yes.
Yes, I totally agree with you. That's what I'm saying. The Keystone XL pipeline wouldn't have done anything. The risks outweigh the pros, and the pros were not that great. We would have made a little bit of money because the oil will be passing through the United States down to the Gulf of Mexico. But in terms of like pros compared to cons, it's not even close. The cons are enormous.
I know, but I'm just saying, they could have went straight to Oregon, put it on barges, and shipped it down to whatever, Made it easier for that.
They're actually doing that now. Well, not sort of. They're not. It's sort of not doing that. They have a substitute now for the Keystone XL pipeline, and they're moving it that way, which is better.
That's what I heard, but I'm not positive anything's gone through.
Well, it has.
Hey, bro. Hey, I got to get back to work, so.
Yeah, go do your thing, man. All right, have a good one, all right?
Yep.
Appreciate it. By the way, that guy's username was TikTok. I don't... Just funny. Yo, Mary, thanks for the $5 for putting up with this every night. You deserve a medal. The $5 will have to do. I appreciate that. It will do. Trust me, Mary. I appreciate you. Allie, thanks for the $1. Man has a lot to say for someone whose profile picture was taken on a Nintendo DS. Love you. Have a great night. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's very funny. Jaden, thanks for the $20. You look gorgeous and intellectual right now. Golly, Jaden. Gassing me up over here, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jaden. Blair, thanks for the $20. Missed you yesterday. Blair, I missed you all too. I appreciate you, and I'm happy to be back. I was, I wanted to debate MAGA. Shakayla, thanks for the $1. Miss you, but I hope you're having a great weekend. I appreciate you every day. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. Erica, thanks for the $1. Give me one chance, please. You're so pretty. Eric, I appreciate you. You're so kind. What a nice person. What an amazing person. I appreciate you, Erica. Thanks for the $1. And Jenny, thanks for the $25. Listening to podcasts that wants you in jail. Jenny, you'll have to follow up with me and tell me what podcast that is. I would love to hear. I'd love to hear about that. Oh, the lighting's getting messed up. Anyway, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up and we can talk. You can tell me why you're a Trump supporter, why you love Donald, and why you voted for Donald Trump. And also make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Also, double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 200,000 likes and spam those shares down there. We're like killing it on the shares. You guys are killing it on the likes as well. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Who do we got? Who do we got in the box, man? Who do we got in the box? Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's this is interesting. The bio is interesting. Let's see what we got here. Maybe I'll bring another person up, make it a 2-on-1.
Hey, brother.
What's up, man? You voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
What a disaster. Oh, God.
So, all right. So, real quick, do you know how to play chess?
Yes.
Okay. You obviously know how to play checkers then, right?
I know how to play checkers. I prefer chess, though, personally.
Okay. So, not trolling, totally legit argument right here. So, are you familiar with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR?
Yes.
Okay. So, FDR was the
Why did I say that?
Sure.
Why are people saying not him? He was in the other day. Oh, were you the guy that was giving me that really weird argument as to why you wanted to vote for Donald Trump? It was like you were talking about the Constitution and stuff?
Well, I do talk about the Constitution, but I don't think it's a weird argument. It's definitely a valid argument.
Yeah, I remember.
Real
You
quick.
have a good rest of your night, bro. That conversation sucked. Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good, bro. I'll pass on that, man. I'll pass on that. Listen, if you're MAGA and you're not, well, it's strange. I'm not strange. I'm not sure if that's possible. Sorry, that was mean. If you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up. Also, as I mentioned, drop a follow. Venmo, Cash App, in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Nathan, I talked to this guy recently. Why does this guy want to come back? Let's give Gabriel a chance. Pack it up. Yeah, I agree. Just have your head on out, bro. Hello, bro. How old are you, man? Definitely sounds sus. How about you head on out, bro? Joe, let's give Joe a chance. Bello says, "Let's go Trump." What a strange thing to say. Caleb Blue. Let's see if Caleb Blue is requesting. There he is. Let's give him a chance. Oh, there's two people here. Well, I don't mind I don't mind debating two people at once. Jamie, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate you. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. All right, which one do you want to start here?
Caleb got it.
Let me turn that off real quick. I'll call you back.
Why are you calling in from the Titanic? I mean, what are we doing here? What's the audio, brother?
My damn phone's playing that last
Bro's
song.
landing a plane.
Are you driving right now?
He's landing a plane.
It sounds like him. You're driving?
Yeah, I drive. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be driving and on TikTok Live at the same time. I'm sorry, man.
Said you
All right,
first.
Joe, it's just you now. How old are you, bro?
I'm not 18, so I just got invited to join this. I wish I was.
That's
My
a
bad.
damn shame, man. I'm sorry. I gotta kick you out immediately. I apologize. Let's give Blake an invite. Because again, you have to be above the age of 18 to be on TikTok Live. Troy's there. I'm just gonna bring up two people at once. Blake, hello. How old are you, bro?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2006.
All right, why'd you vote for Troy? How old are you, bro?
30.
30. Okay. Blake, you have to come back. There we go. Blake, why'd you vote for Donald Trump? Or one of you can start. Whoever wants to start, you can.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really looking to debate. I just have a quick question for you.
Oh, this should be good. Okay, what is it?
Can you debate Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Will you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You have a good one, all right? All right, Troy, why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
I voted for Donald Trump because I think that he was a very good president. I actually was a former Dem that is now MAGA.
Okay. So, where would you like to start? You saying he's a good president, or that you were a former Dem and now you're MAGA? Because I have questions about both of these things. Where would you like to start? I'll let you pick.
I guess we can start on former Dem.
Okay. What made you switch to supporting Donald Trump?
The way that the Democrats decided to screw over Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Oh my God, I want to say so many mean things, but I won't. So wait, so walk me through that. How does that lead you to voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Midwest, start with, and, I saw the impacts of all these horrible trade agreements firsthand, all the jobs being shipped overseas. What initially brought me to him was him talking about that issue in a way that other politicians wouldn't. Hillary was sitting there trying to support the TPP, which would send more jobs overseas. And I appreciate the first thing he did in office was rip that up.
So, but you didn't mention how, the Bernie thing made you want to vote for Donald Trump. Also, how can you say that, like, this is a reason you want to vote for Donald Trump when he actually outsourced more jobs in his first term than under Obama in his second term?
Okay, well, I don't exactly know all about that, but like I said, growing up in the Midwest, under Trump's administration, I actually saw life being breathed back into those communities. Under Trump's administration. Probably
because Obama had a great economy that set Donald Trump up for success. So if you saw breath under Trump, it's pretty hard to make the claim that he himself is responsible for that when he inherited a great economy. And again, he outsourced more jobs than Obama did. In Obama's last 4 years, because we have to only compare 4 years to 4 years. In his last 4 years in office, he outsourced less jobs than Trump did. So wouldn't you then be voting, if this was like a big thing for you, you grew up in the Midwest, you're upset about jobs being outsourced to other countries, wouldn't you then want to vote for Democrats?
No, because Democrats gave us such great things as adding China to the the World Trade Organization, and NAFTA.
Yeah, I mean, that's why are you against that?
Because I watched the jobs go overseas because of those trade agreements.
But don't you think we should have like open trade with one of the biggest producers in the world?
No, I mean, why would we do that
at all?
Why would we send all of our jobs, our intellectual property, over to China? All they do is steal it.
I'm totally with you that we shouldn't be sending jobs, or like we should be very strict about intellectual property and it not being stolen from people in China. But don't you think that having trade with China is a good thing overall, because we import things from China? A lot of those things are also not made in the United States, or it's difficult to make them in the United States. But simultaneously, our farmers, our producers, our companies here in the United States also ship things to China, making them money.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty bad trade imbalance. So I don't think that opening our markets up to them was good for us in the long run.
So we just cut China off altogether. We don't trade with China.
I didn't say that. I said that we shouldn't be shipping all these jobs over there.
I totally agree. But then why would you vote for Trump if he outsourced more jobs than Obama did?
Well, from my experience, I saw factories opening back up. So,
but I mean, wouldn't you recognize that your personal experience is not always indicative of a broader trend? So you yourself could experience something that the majority of people are not experiencing?
I mean, I guess, but yeah, overall, like I said, I saw life being breathed back into these Midwestern communities and factories reopening for the first time. So,
and do you have a policy that Donald Trump put into place that like caused that?
Well, probably the USMCA.
But okay, so what part of that did created jobs in the Midwest and like gave that the new breath you were talking about?
I don't have the answer to that one.
It's because these things don't exist. Like, first of all, like the new trade agreements that Donald Trump, first of all, getting out of the TPP was bad. It just put China closer to other countries in Asia, and they became closer together. We don't want Asian countries going to China. We want them coming to us to trade, not with China. And then getting out of that agreement allowed China to do that. So that's number one. Number two, these trade agreements, the USMCA was not all that different from the trade agreement that came before it with NAFTA and things like that. It was relatively similar. And again, it's just contradictory to data. You're saying like, oh, these trade agreements made the Midwest better, but in reality, the trade agreements were virtually the same and more jobs were outsourced. So in my personal opinion, I think you got bamboozled. I think Trump bamboozled you into voting for him, which is quite the shame.
Yeah, I disagree with you. My life was definitely better under his administration. Dollar definitely went a little further. I saw, like I said, life being breathed back into communities in the Midwest. And and then I just also, like I said, part of what actually opened me up to Trump in the first place was watching the Democrat Party play games behind the scenes to ensure Hillary got the nomination, not Bernie.
What did they do to behind the scenes to make sure that Hillary got it?
Just put their thumbs on the scale. I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz had to step down as chairwoman.
I'm just like, what can you give like an example of like how they put their thumbs on the scale?
Well, they made sure to, Bernie could win every county in West Virginia, yet every single superdelegate voted for Hillary.
I mean, that's within the right of the superdelegates. You can disagree with superdelegates, but that's not like the DNC like screwing over Bernie. It's just the way that the party works.
They did. They used their apparatus to fully support Hillary behind the scenes.
Would you say that like canceling a primary is a way of like rigging it in favor of a candidate you want?
What do you mean, like in 2024 with Biden, like how Florida canceled their primaries?
Well, I'm just in your view. Do you think that like that's on the scale on the same level of like what you're talking about with Bernie, which I don't even think is like I don't think happened. But would you agree that that's like on the same level or worse?
I don't quite get your question one more time.
Meaning, so like these primaries were canceled, or just to say a primary was canceled to help a candidate, basically like. To make sure that other candidates couldn't get delegates. Would you agree that that's on the same level as bad when it comes to Bernie?
Yeah, I would say canceling primaries is pretty bad.
So that's what the Republican Party did in 2020 with Donald Trump. So that's a pretty typical practice of a party. But if your view is like, oh, a typical practice of a party, which is super delegates voting as they please, is bad, then you'd also have to say that, oh yeah, the Republican Party like screwed over anybody that's not Donald Trump so that Donald Trump could win. Because that's, but parties typically do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that. And then, but this was different. They definitely were going out of their way to ensure that Bernie did not get that nomination, that they were putting their thumbs on that scale to ensure that.
Okay, so then how do you feel about like Donald Trump trying to overturn the 2020 election? Wouldn't you say that that's a lot worse than like super delegates exercising their right in a party?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty hypocritical of you guys talking about democracy this, democracy that. Yes, I get that parties can do whatever they want, but when they put their thumbs on the scale for a candidate to ensure Bernie does not win a primary, it's pretty hard to take them seriously.
Wait, so Donald Trump had this coordinated effort to try to overturn the election, like top down, meaning from him in the Oval Office all the way down to state legislators, trying to convince these people to overturn an election he didn't win in favor of him. And you're trying to say that is at all comparable to parties operating within party rules? Are you kidding me? Like, Trump is genuinely a threat to democracy, and you're trying to make the argument that you were pushed toward Trump because parties did what parties do. That's insane. And you're trying to put him on the same level. That's like bonkers.
Yeah, talk about threats to democracy. Democrats are always on the news talking about wanting to, censor social media, do whatever they can behind the scenes in their primaries to make sure that, their chosen one gets in. So, yeah, they don't have a leg to stand on.
Like, what did they do in 2020 to make sure their chosen one got in? Because Biden just received the most amount of votes.
In South Carolina, after South Carolina, they ensured that all the establishment Dems dropped out, endorsed Biden.
Wait.
Kept Elizabeth Warren in, a billionaire paid to keep Elizabeth Warren in.
What are you talking about? Elizabeth Warren could have dropped out herself if she wanted to. And also, do you have any evidence that the party was like ensuring that all these people dropped out after Super Tuesday or before Super Tuesday to make sure that Biden won? They dropped out on their own volition. There's quite literally no evidence that the Democratic Party was coordinating them dropping out. It's like, what the fuck? What is with these conspiracy theories, man? Like, oh my God. And it's funny, like it's just mind boggling. You care about the conspiracies of like, oh, the Democrats made Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar drop out to endorse Biden so he would win. But then when Trump actually tries to overturn an election, you don't care. You just brush it off. Oh my God, dude, it's crazy.
So, yeah, that is one of the reasons why, though, is, was the way that they rigged that primary against Bernie. That opened my eyes to, and also Bernie Sanders running made me realize that, these Democrats are basically George Bush Republicans with pride flags.
What are you talking about? How on earth is Joe Biden at all comparable to George Bush? Please tell me some policy similarities here in terms of you can do domestic, foreign, whatever you want. Please tell me. He
loves war just as much as George Bush. He voted for the Iraq War as a senator.
Wait, hold on. Joe Biden's ended the drone war. We do not drone anywhere near as much as we did under Donald Trump. So he clearly does not like war. Under Joe Biden, we've ended all wars that America is currently or was currently in. For the first time this century, we are not at war.
What's going on in Ukraine?
We are not at war in Ukraine.
Sure, paying for it.
We are supplying Ukraine with aid, absolutely, which, by the way, is a good investment. But in terms of the United States being directly at war with anybody and American troops fighting in a war, that is not happening under Joe Biden. So if your view is that Joe Biden is somehow pro-war or as pro-war as George Bush, Michaela, thanks for the sub, then I don't know where you're getting that from. And it seems just very, maybe Joe Biden needs us to get into another war to be there. I mean, my God.
Well, he is. He is definitely pro-war. I mean, he's allowing Ukraine now to use long-range missiles. That's definitely an escalation.
Yeah, so the Ukraine is allowed to use long-range missiles. Just understand the sentence. Ukraine,
that we
the
paid
country,
for,
which is different than the United States, is using American-made missiles or long-range American-made missiles to strike within Russia. The United States is not fighting Russia. Yeah. And also, is your view that Russia can escalate as much as they want and the United States can't respond?
Well, maybe Biden should have listened to Russia saying having Ukraine as a part of NATO is a red line. I mean, how would the U.S. react if Russia and Mexico started getting in some sort of war agreement?
Yeah, so Joe Biden made it abundantly clear to Putin before. Like, we saw them building up their troops and, like, digging ditches and building hospitals along the border of Russia and Ukraine beforehand. We had satellite imagery. And Joe Biden met with Putin a number of times. Secretary of State Blinken met with Russian officials a number of times. CIA Director Burns met with Russian officials. They all said that Ukraine will not join NATO. And the United States, historically, has opposed Ukraine's efforts to join NATO every single time, shooting it down. Pavlina, thanks for the subscription. So that is obviously not a reason. And the idea that you would somehow blame Biden when he made clear to Putin that they were not joining NATO, and not Putin, the guy who's actually doing the illegal invasion, is mind-blowing to me.
Well, like I said, this is definitely an escalation, allowing these long-range missiles. He was trying to get them a part of NATO. And the only time, funny enough, when Russia didn't steal land in the 21st century was under Trump's presidency.
Oh, yeah, they were just occupying the land that they stole.
Yeah, under Biden's term.
Biden was not president of the United States
Obama's term. I'm sorry. I mean Obama's term.
Yeah, so they were occupying land that they stole.
During Obama's time.
I'm not sure if that's the win that you think it is. It's like, oh, well, if Russia steals land under a different president and Trump doesn't do anything about it and the land doesn't go back, then it's okay.
And I'm reading the chat. Sorry, I'm not siding with Russia. I'm saying that they're not great, but they're not great. But I don't think that the way we're going about this is good. Creating a proxy war, possibly leading to World War III, nuclear weapons with a nuclear power.
I don't know what you would want as opposed to this. Do you think that the United States should just not support Ukraine and let Russia just roll through?
I think that we should have kept out of Ukraine in the first place and not mess with their elections to get Zelensky in the first place and not even try to get them into NATO.
Zelensky won with like 70+% of the vote. Is your claim now? By the way, you're also just repeating Russian propaganda. Sergei Lavrov, who's a senior advisor for Putin, works within Putin in the Kremlin, like very close to him, like repeated this exact same claim at an international meeting. I believe it was something to do with the UN, where he was reading out a speech and said that the United States somehow interfered in the Ukrainian election to get Zelensky elected, and we've done this prior. You're quite literally repeating Russian propaganda. And again, I want to remind you that Zelensky won with over 70% of the vote. What's with like Trump? I don't get this. What's with you Trump supporters and like supporting Putin or at least repeating his talking points? Like what is going on?
Okay, well, I'll look more into that one then. If I'm wrong on that one, I will cede that to you.
It's like, oh my God. Yeah, well, okay, good. Well, you should just support Ukraine. That helps the United States. It helps global security. Letting Ukraine get bulldozed and have all these innocent people killed and Russia become more powerful and also set the precedent that if Russia invades a country, we won't do anything is just bad for the entire world. That's all.
Okay. So, yeah, that's basically it, though. I supported Obama the first time. I see the Democrats becoming more of a pro-war party, and things are just better under Trump, and those are the reasons why I flipped from Dem to MAGA.
So, last thing I'll say before you leave. Trump increased drone strikes 450% from Obama. Mm-hmm. and Biden has ended the drone war. So and also ended the Afghanistan war. So if you're just looking at a fact-based analysis of who's pro-war and who's not, right? Trump is the one increasing drone strikes. He's the one who he himself said he dropped the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. He bombed Yemen. He bombed Syria. We had more American troops dying under Donald Trump than under Joe Biden. Now under Biden, we have nowhere near the same amount of troops dying. We have nowhere near the amount of same bombs dropping. Not even close, right? And we're also out of Afghanistan, which was a forever war, right? Because of Joe Biden. So the idea that Biden is pro-war and the Democrats are pro-war and Trump is not, oh my God, it's brain numbing. Anyway, if you have something else to say, you can.
Biden did vote for the Iraq war.
And I don't think any politician's perfect. Also, by the way, like every single politician voted for the Iraq war at the time, right?
Not
Democrat, Republican, everybody. And Donald Trump we have people on the record saying that Trump was privately very much in favor of the Iraq war. And that wouldn't surprise me given that Donald Trump is a war hawk. But like the idea that Biden's pro-war, and also like you using the Iraq war, like one vote that Biden has made, which in hindsight obviously was a bad vote based on misinformation that was being given to him by the Bush administration, but whatever. That one bad vote to say that, oh, he's pro-war, when you look at all these other actions that he's taken, which is very anti-war, it's just don't vote for. I can't believe you voted for Trump. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to disappoint you. I do have one question for you though. I saw you on Piers Morgan with Jank and Alan Lichtman.
Yeah.
Whose side did you take on that one?
On what specifically?
Do you think Jank's more right on the new direction the the Democrat Party should go in to be more Bernie Sanders-like, or Alan Lichtman just saying that the keys were right and the American people are just irrational?
I don't think that's what Alan Lichtman was saying. But I agree with like both of them to a degree. I think that populism could be embraced. That probably help us, especially economic populism. I'm fine by that. But also Alan Lichtman's right in the sense that this election had more misinformation than any election before it. We had Elon Musk like pumping millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to spread misinformation about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the Biden administration. So that's hard for like the keys that he created to factor in. But yes, I agree like that we should, go more in populist message. I'm fine by that.
Okay. And then but what about, you say that, Elon Musk pumping all this money in, but Kamala did have more billionaire and millionaire donors than Trump did.
Yeah, and I would say that the ads that they were running was not based off of misinformation.
Okay.
Like you can look at Hannah, thanks for the subscription. You can just look at the ads that Kamala Harris was running. It was very policy focused, and even the ads slamming Donald Trump either used his own words or the words of his former advisors, things like that. Whereas Trump, there's some ads out there where they literally shortened headlines of articles to make it seem like Kamala Harris. One article was like, "Oh, Kamala Harris plans to inherit Biden's border," and they cut it short. And in reality, the headline was something like, "Oh, Kamala Harris is going to inherit the problem at the border, and how is she going to fix it?" They were very deceptive in their ad creation. So there was a lot of misinformation. And Elon Musk, with the use of Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, from his own platform launching misinformation, very, very deceptive. So anyway.
All right. And then there's one piece of misinformation I keep hearing you say over and over again. It does drive me nuts. You keep saying Trump said he told people to inject bleach. He never did. Look at the clip. I did watch the clip. He asked the panel if there was a disinfectant that could be
Madison, thanks for subscribing.
He never said inject bleach. He asked the panel a question.
A disinfectant that could be injected. And he was like looking at his doctors, and his doctors looked horrified. I think that's a pretty bad quote, my man. Especially in the midst of a pandemic, like a global health emergency when hundreds of thousands of people are dying and things like that.
But don't you think there's a bit of a difference between, say, asking the question, is there a disinfectant we could give people, versus saying, oh, he told people to inject bleach? I think that's a little misinformation on your part.
No, I totally disagree. I mean,
even
if he's up there talking about let's inject a disinfectant into somebody. Just think, what is a disinfectant? Like, what are examples that we have of like disinfectants, just generally?
Yeah, like I said, he didn't tell people inject bleach. He asked a question if there were disinfectants.
No, I don't even think he was asking. I don't even think he was asking a question of like.
True.
I don't even think he was asking a question of like, oh, can we? He was just suggesting like, let's do a disinfectant inside somebody. He was also suggesting like light therapy, like using lights to kill germs of COVID. it was just it was a really weird point is that it was a weird suggestion, right? And I think that during in the midst of a pandemic, like spreading misinformation like that from the press secretary's office, when the American people are like reeling from a pandemic is crazy. And again, you voted for that, so
yeah. Well, I guess we just have to disagree at the end of the day. I do appreciate you talking to me, and I did like, discussing a few things about the party afterwards, and I hope you have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks for coming up. You too. Yeesh. If you're Matt, well, I'll be right there. Joel, thanks for the $5. Love your daily lives. Keep doing what you're doing. You are amazing. Yo, Joel, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for the $5 and thank you for being here. Allie, thanks for the $1. Hey, gorgeous. Have to feed your ego at least a little bit every live. If you're wanting to get married anytime soon, I'm free on Wednesday. God, you're like planning out days, huh? I appreciate you. Liv, thanks for the $5. Are you the infrastructure bill? Because I want you to, I can't. Yeah, I can't read that. You probably can infer on that one. You can infer on that one. Bella, thanks for the $3. Can't read that one either. Can't read that one either. I appreciate you, Bella. Tahira, thanks for the $5. You know, Harry, I'm done with pickup lines. I just want to let you know, staring at your handsome face makes my day. Well, Tahira, you being here in the live and supporting makes my day. So I appreciate you. Sydney, thanks for the $1. Have you seen that weird guy, Liam, that does lies about you, Parker, Chris, and D? I have. Very strange. Very strange. Very strange. Zariah, $1. I love when you say golly or God love you. I appreciate that. It just comes out with some of these people. Hannah, thanks for the $7. The only thing sweeter than Thanksgiving dessert is that's Cameron, I can't read that out either. I appreciate you. $2.22 from Shakayla. Angel numbers for my favorite angel boy. I appreciate you, Shakayla. Thanks for being here. Venmo, Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 400,000 likes as well. But yeah, if you're MAGA, let me know. And we'll talk. You can tell me why on earth, how it's possible you voted for Donald Trump. It's very strange. Oh, MAGA Michelle is back. No, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. Don't think we will, actually. Maybe I'll just pick somebody from the box. Let's put in, somebody said put in a woman. Let's put in Rachel. Rachel's sitting right there in the box. See if she's MAGA. I don't know. We'll find out. Unless her request might have expired, so maybe we have to get somebody else. I think her request did expire. Taylor, I still can't invite you. You don't have live access. You don't have live access. I can't bring you up. Jack, let's give Jack a shot. Or I brought up the wrong person. It's fine. They'll do. Hello.
Hello.
You vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did because the woke mind virus. No, I'm joking. Good work. Keep up the good work.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Oh, I was about to say, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You have a good one, all right?
I'm from New Zealand, by the way.
A beautiful country, man. Beautiful country.
I
appreciate you. What a nice guy right there. What a nice guy right there. The woke mind virus. Oh my God, bro. Let's bring up this guy. Fivefold Mysteries. Let's give him a chance. Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How about yourself? Let's bring up Dylan as well. You vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean why? Well,
I don't know. What I'm not you. Who knows what I can mean by that question? It's a real head scratcher. Why'd you go for Trump, man?
Mainly because of my Christian values.
Christian values. Okay. Why did that lead you to vote for Trump?
Well, I mean, is Trump like the best person for candidate ever? Yes and no. Like no, because he has told a lot of lies. Like I'm not going to disagree with you, but when it came down to it, I mean, babies or no babies, and I had to choose that, pro-choice or pro-life, whatever they call it.
So essentially, you voted for Trump based off of abortion.
Main thing, yes, sir. Babies are very important.
Yeah, they're very important to you, huh? So then why, explain this to me. Like, why can't you just have your view of being pro-life for you and your family? Why do you want to force that on other people?
How is that forcing it on other people?
Meaning that you want pro-life legislation to be the law of the land, correct? That abortion is banned everywhere? You're muted, by the way.
Louder.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know that he's muted. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't think this guy. Well, then, Dylan, you can tell me why you voted for Trump because this guy's muted right now.
Well, main reason for me is Second Amendment.
Second Amendment.
My bad.
Okay, well now you have to wait. All right, so go ahead, answer. So with your view, you're pro-life to the point you want to force it on other people. You want pro-life legislation to be the law of the land. Yes.
Yes.
So then explain that to me. Why? Why is that the best case scenario? Why does that make the country the best it can be?
Because there's how many states? 7 or 8 states that allow 9 months. Number one.
Those are abortions that take
24
place for medical emergencies in 9 months.
I've heard you say that you're okay with 24 weeks when they have heads and a limb. Like, that's disgusting.
So
that's terrible.
So why does it having like a head, quote unquote, a head or a limb mean that a woman's right should be restricted? We're talking about like viability here.
Right. You're arguing life. You're arguing taking away a life. Come on, Harry. Like, seriously.
Yeah, you obviously agree that taking a life in certain instances is justified.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
In any instance, it's wrong.
Yes, you do. If you're participating in self-defense, somebody's attacking you, and you take the person's life with like a firearm, I'm sure you'd be like, that's perfectly fine, right? That's the taking of a life.
Why are you even comparing that to a baby that doesn't even have a voice and doesn't even have a womb yet?
I'm proving to you that you even agree.
You're not proving anything.
All right, you can keep getting riled up, but I'm proving to you that you agree that taking life in certain instances is perfectly justified. So when it comes to self-defense, you're perfectly happy with it. I'm sure you'd also agree that a family that has a brain dead patient that's hooked up to machines and will come back, you'd be perfectly fine with the family pulling the plug on that person. Yes.
Talk to Dylan for a moment.
Why?
If you don't mind, just talk to him for a minute.
Are you really that riled up? I guess he is.
Right, because you make no fucking sense.
Okay, elaborate on that. Why do you say that?
Okay, so you saying if someone broke into your house, what are you gonna do?
What?
If someone broke into your house, or someone came up behind you, what are you gonna do?
What are you asking me? Like, would I defend myself? Is that the question?
Exactly. What would you do?
Yeah, I would defend myself.
Okay,
yeah.
If someone broke in my house, yeah, my gun's coming out. They're getting shot.
Okay, I don't have a problem with you doing that.
Okay, but
so
killing babies is wrong, for one.
My what?
Killing babies is wrong, for one.
Oh, okay. So then why are you pro-life as well, like this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you pro-life? Why are you pro-life?
Y'all Democrats are fucking insane.
I'm just asking you a question. Why are you pro-life?
Because killing babies is fucking wrong.
Okay, so then the next question is being like, you can believe that, but then why do you want to force that on other people?
So, I'm sorry, Harry, but like, you can't sit here and say, why do you want to force not taking a baby out of this world away? And the same reason why it is enforced to not take a human life that is out of a womb. It's wrong and it's murder. Martyr. Period. Harry, you don't have children. When you see your child open his eyes for the first time, you'll understand what I mean.
This is such a. Why is there an echo? Is it connected to a car or something?
No. Until you see your own child.
There's like an echo. Are you driving?
No.
Are you sure you're not driving?
Yeah, I'm riding, but not driving.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's like a really bad argument because you having kids or like you seeing a kid like open their eyes for the first time doesn't mean that women's reproductive rights should be restricted, especially because the data is so clear on this, right? When women, can you be quiet? Hey, can you be quiet for a second? I just let you speak. So be quiet. The WHO and other major health agencies or global health agencies have talked about this, and when women have access to reproductive rights, including abortion, their life expectancy is higher, their quality of life is better, their financial status is better, them just living is better. But when you don't have that, you relegate them to less financial status, less education, a lower life expectancy, and that's like what you're forcing on women because you feel certain ways about the morality of abortion. And I don't think that's right for you, who has some view on abortion, to force that on other women and put them into bad situations.
Okay.
And even when you put in like pro-life policy, that we've had more abortions continue to go up in the United States. So what people are doing are they're either getting legal abortions or they're turning to illegal means or unsafe means. So they're getting abortions that might lead to them becoming not fertile or losing their lives, or women who need medical emergency abortions like Amber Nicole Thurman in Georgia, who go to hospitals and doctors don't know if they can operate on her because the pro-life legislation is so strict that it could send them to jail for 20 years. So your view just doesn't make sense. What makes more sense is for you and your family to be pro-life if you want it, but not have the government making decisions for women, not having people like you making decisions for women.
Let me speak. Okay, let me speak. Let me tell you this firsthand. I'm a minister. There's 4,000 people on this life. I'm going to tell you and everybody else this. God is real. He is coming. You martyring.
Oh, thank God his Wi-Fi is bad. Thank God his Wi-Fi is bad.
Marking a lie with some truth. That's called the angel of light. That's
didn't hear a single thing you just said,
Mama. Calling evil good and good evil. What you're doing here, Harry, what you're doing in 1,000 other people is calling good evil and evil good. Look at open your eyes.
We didn't hear.
Christ created you.
We didn't hear a single thing you just said. By the way, you lagged for like 30 seconds. But that's okay. I understand that you're making a religious argument. That's fine.
Right now, what we're doing is we are murdering babies because you are falling into Satan's trap. Satan's trap, that's Satan's lie. Satan's lie is calling good evil and evil good. He is the angel of light. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. You are a slave to either sin or righteousness.
Elaborate to me how it's good if we have laws in place that force women like Amber Nicole Thurman to die. Elaborate to me how that's good.
Okay, elaborate to me how you're going to come up with that 1%.
Answer the question. Please answer the question. Because you're going on this whole rant of like, oh, you people are evil, your people are good. So please elaborate to me how that's good. How that's good. How is that good?
7.5 million babies. I'm sorry, but you're going to have a harder time.
You see, you can't answer the question. You can't answer the question because your whole argument falls apart. Elaborate to me how having laws in place that kill women like Amber Nicole Thurman in Georgia and other women who are just being discovered now is good.
You're going to have a way harder time justifying why it's okay for a baby to not be alive rather than me saying it's okay for a baby to be alive.
No, I have a perfect time justifying this.
Your argument's a little bit harder than mine.
I have no problem with justifying this. I have no problem at all.
And that's the sad part.
No, my argument's just better than yours. You're saying that it's good. Like having pro-life legislation be the law of the land is good, and having pro-choice legislation be the law of the land is bad. But your view leads to women who are interacting in society. They are viable outside the womb. They are sentient. They have first-person conscious experience. Those women should be relegated to less financial stability, worse life expectancy, worse quality of life, and the possibility that if they get pregnant, they might die.
Dude, let me try to break this down to you the best I can. There is somebody named Satan that comes out to still kill and destroy. He does not like babies for one reason. They're innocent.
You are so far gone. You are so far gone.
I'm not so far gone, Harry.
You are so goddamn far gone. Because you're making a religious argument you're making a religious argument to justify real world policy. You're saying that Satan's going to come down and God's going to do this and X, Y, and Z. Hey, buddy, women are out there struggling right now. You're not living in the real world. You're living in fantasy land where Satan's going to come down and condemn everybody.
Let me tell you something that's real world. Let me tell you something that's real world. A baby that is 3 months old that has a head, limbs, and legs being torn apart because you disagree with it. Tell me how that's right.
That's not what happens at 12 weeks. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
What are you talking about? At 20?
That's not what happens at 12 weeks.
Okay,
That's
I'm
not,
sorry.
That's not how
Sorry,
abortion
let me
is
say
performed as well.
24 weeks, what you agree with. That 24 weeks, they have head, they have arms, they have legs, they have heart,
That
they
means
have brain.
you saying you continue to say, oh, they have this, they have this, they have this. That doesn't justify taking reproductive rights away from women.
Taking reproductive
and it also
rights
is not,
away.
It's
That
not
is a
it's not
covered
practical,
blanket
it's
to
not
say that
pragmatic,
it's
it means
okay
nothing.
to tear head and limbs apart. That's what you're agreeing to. You understand that, right?
Hold on. I agree with reproductive rights, women having the ability to get an abortion if they want to. You, on the other hand, are saying simply because it has these characteristics means that women shouldn't have access to abortion. But then again, you would agree that in self-defense, you should be able to take a person's life,
Guys,
even though they have limbs, head, a body, whatever.
4,200 people
And you'd
in this
agree that a
life.
family should be able to pull the plug on a brain dead patient, even if they have heads, limbs, whatever. Right? So you saying, oh, they have similar
You know what,
properties
Harry,
to humans,
use a covered blanket all you
or
want.
somebody that's
Use
outside
a
the womb
covered
means
blanket all
absolutely
you
nothing to me.
Use a covered blanket all you want by sitting here saying, okay, what about this argument? Or what about
Oh, thank God his Wi-Fi is
that argument? Well, nice.
So nice.
I'm
So
sorry,
nice
but stop coming up with that. Let's talk about let's talk about the majority.
Holy
let's talk
shit.
about the majority.
You could not have just possibly been about to say, like, let's talk about the reality, because once again, you're using like Satan and God to justify your pro-life
talk
belief.
about the majority.
I'm saying, hey, let's talk about
let's use
actual.
let's use statistics.
Hold on. Let's talk about real. Let's use statistics. Let's use statistics. So
The
as I mentioned, when women are
babies
denied
would be-
reproductive care,
Mom
they have
and
less
baby will
financial
be healthy,
stability,
yes or no?
less life
Mom and baby
expectancy,
will
less
be-
quality of life. And
mom and baby will be healthy, yes or no? Majority of them, mom and baby will be healthy, yes or no?
will be health
yes
or
or no?
healthy.
Healthy.
It doesn't matter
Mom
whether
and
the
baby
baby
will be
is going to be
healthy, yes or
healthy or not.
Yes, they will be. You know how
Why
many
does that
babies
matter?
there will be healthy?
Wait, why does that
7.5
matter?
million.
Why does that matter?
Because it's a baby.
Why does that matter?
Because it's a baby.
First of all, it's a fetus, and why does a fetus being healthy? First of all,
right here.
it's not guaranteed that the fetus is
No,
going to be
no, no,
healthy.
no. Right
Second
there.
of all,
4.4 million. Guys,
I can't even get a goddamn
no.
word out without you screaming about Satan and God coming down and condemning everybody. It's just such shit. You're not even making an
listen to
argument.
yourself.
You're
proving
falling
me
back
right
on like
that
your
God
religion
does
to
exist,
justify
and that
being
evil is
pro-life.
real. You're proving me right that Satan is real right now by justifying this. 4.4 people on here. Listen and hear yourselves, really.
4,400.
Hear what Harry's actually saying. I'm talking
hear what I'm
about
saying.
head
Hear what
and
I'm saying,
limbs
that
being
women
ripped
should have
apart.
access to reproductive care, and freaks like this talking about Satan want to restrict your
Freaks
body.
like me? I'm defending a baby.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm defending bodily autonomy. I'm defending people being
you're
able to make a
defending
choice for
women?
themselves. I'm defending women having the ability that if
No, you're
they
not.
need an
What you
abortion
are
in a medical
defending-
emergency, there's no restrictions for them getting that. If a woman's assaulted, there's no restrictions to them getting abortion if they want to, because they don't want to carry their assaulter's baby.
Okay,
If they
let's
just
say
have
this
an accident with their
situation.
boyfriend, them not having to become a mother at the age of like 17, that's what I'm defending. Absolutely, I'll defend that every goddamn day of the week.
Okay, fine. Let's say this situation. Let's go ahead and say, all of that's covered. The incest, the rape, and the life-threatening procedures. All of that's covered. What about the healthy ones? What about them? What do you agree with? Yes or no?
I think a woman, if a woman has a healthy fetus, a healthy pregnancy, she should be able to terminate that pregnancy if she'd like to.
She should be 24 weeks when that fetus.
20 to 24 weeks, which is viability. So until
Which
the
has
fetus
a
is
head-
viable,
Okay, so you're
my
okay
view
with
is that
the
until
head
the
and
fetus is
limbs.
viable, the government doesn't have an interest in regulating that pregnancy. After viability, the state governments could regulate if they so choose. But until then, before viability, the states
so
cannot
you are
have,
okay.
regulate.
So you're okay with head, arms, and legs?
You keep
taken out.
saying heads, arms, and legs as like a
Because that's the
justification for
truth.
taking reproductive rights away from women. But
Justification.
yet again, you would
have to
agree
choose
with
between
a family. Hold on, just be quiet. Nobody needs to
No.
hear you speak right now. You would agree with a family pulling the plug on a brain dead patient who's a family member of theirs, even if they have a head, limbs, legs, body. Like, you would still agree with that. So, like, stop making the argument of, it has heads, legs. That's just like an emotional
hear
argument.
yourself?
You're not making an argument based on logic
You're
or
actually
facts.
sitting here telling me, stop making an argument that the baby has head, arms, and legs, and it's
Yeah,
going to be
because
ripped
you
out
would
of the
even
ball.
agree that when
Stop
it's a
making
brain
that
dead
argument.
patient, they have the same characteristics, like in terms of the definitions you're setting of heads, arm, legs, and things like that. You'd be okay with that life being taken.
Bro, I'm sorry, but hear yourself. 4.8 thousand people are hearing you say
hold on,
this live.
hear yourself. You're saying that we shouldn't have abortion because Satan is evil and he's behind it all. I mean,
No,
wake
what
up.
I am saying.
Wake up.
Two things I'm saying. One thing I'm saying is we should not have babies taken out of moms because they decided to not take care of a human life. Number two, there is good and evil. There is an eternal life called heaven and hell. If you do not accept Christ, there is an alternative to be away and separate from God for eternity. But let's talk about the reality. So whatever you call
your God.
reality.
It's so funny
The
because
baby
like
not being
your
here
God
anymore.
would
Baby not being here anymore.
the what?
Let's talk about that.
Talk about
You are
sure.
arguing with head, arms, and legs being ripped out of a mom
Yep.
because she doesn't want to take care of a human life.
Yes, first
Guys,
of all,
you
the
gotta
majority
stop
of
using the
abortions,
covered blanket.
the majority of abortions take place before like
reproductive rights.
God,
These are
you're
political,
still screaming. You're still
political
screaming.
schemes.
You're still
The
screaming.
crazy thing is you see
Go
her
ahead, get it
standing
out.
on our.
Get it out, buddy. You got it. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead. Get it out. Get all the anger out.
This
We'll
isn't
wait.
anger.
We'll wait. You're
This
very.
is
you're
more
clearly
than
very
just
angry.
anger.
First of all, the majority of abortions take place in the first trimester. So this whole arms, legs things you're saying like that, it's not even applicable to the majority of abortions that take place. By the way, we can see when you're Googling right now, so maybe you want to come back. That's when the majority of abortions take place. So your argument isn't even applicable. But then again, even if it is, you're saying, oh, at 20 weeks, they have X, Y, and Z. It doesn't change whether a woman should have reproductive rights or not. Because then again, as I mentioned, you are still okay with life being taken in certain circumstances, of which these lives that we're questioning have the same characteristics, the same body parts that you're bringing up right here. And you still don't, you haven't responded to any of the data I brought up, the logic that I brought up, the arguments. You're just making like, Satan is there, and, heads, arms, and legs are mean that a woman should
We have
an
to
abortion.
choose between two things: a woman's reproductive rights, as you call it, or a fetus / baby being torn out of a body.
That's not how. Again, you keep saying torn out. You're just making strictly emotional arguments.
Have you ever looked up an abortion? Yes or no?
Yeah. And as I just told you, the majority of abortions
I'm
take place
asking
via
you,
pill.
have you ever looked one up? Yes or no? Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, I've seen an abortion, my man. And the majority,
Okay,
again,
at
the majority of
24
abortions that take place are done via pill today, and the majority of them are taking place in first trimester. So this whole like ripping out argument that you're trying to make to appeal to people's emotions is not applicable. And even if it is, you're saying, a 20 to 24 week abortion, it still does not justify why women should not have access to reproductive care.
If it's not appealing to your emotions, hearing that, then you have a serious problem.
No, an emotional argument. No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're hearing what you want to hear and not what I'm asking. You're not disputing any of the arguments I'm making. You're just saying that, a fetus at a certain time point, which falls into like viability or before viability, has human characteristics such as like a head, arm, leg, and whatnot. And you're saying that just because they have those characteristics means that abortion is unjustified. Then what about an abortion at 8 weeks when it literally just looks like this?
It looks like what looks like what?
You're saying like it looks like a little like tiny like bean.
What is that called? What's that be called?
It's a fetus.
What's that? What is a fetus? What's a fetus?
What's a fetus? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm asking what a fetus.
What do you think? Is. What do you mean when you ask what's a fetus? Like, what are you looking for?
What's your definition of a fetus?
What are you looking for here? When you
I'm
ask
not looking for anything. What's your definition of a fetus?
A fetus?
Yes.
It's a pregnancy, a fetus inside the womb of a mother.
Okay, but what is that fetus?
Well, I don't even understand the question you're asking me right now.
What is a fetus? It's a pretty simple question.
So do you not know what a fetus is? Do you want to like get the definition of a fetus for you from like Merriam-Webster?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
An offspring of a human or other mammal in the stages of prenatal development that follow the embryo stage, and then there's more. Is that good for you?
An offspring of what?
A human.
Okay, so what is it?
An offspring of a human in the stages of prenatal development.
What is that fetus turning into?
So now you're making a potential argument.
Question, what is that fetus turning into? Not a potential, it's going to.
Not necessarily. It's not going to 100% turn
in 2 to 3. Okay, not necessarily. You're using a statistic. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that statistics hurt your feelings. I know it's very upsetting.
Statistics hurt. Yeah.
So can you get to what you can you get to the argument you're making because of us like looking at the definition of fetus and whatnot. You're making a potential argument. You're saying I know the argument you're making.
We use these scientific terms. we use these scientific terms to go to our safe place. That's what we call it, right?
Oh my God.
Our safe place.
If this is not a definition of like MAGA, I don't know what is. You use scientific factual terms to be in a safe place. Do you hear yourself? You were just like celebrating an emotional argument, and now you're saying that scientific terms are emotional and that's bad. Even though scientific terms are not emotional, they're just fact. They're objective. By the way,
okay. And number 2, a zygote has been proven to be a zygote. Sorry, has been proven to be a life. Has been proven to have life. You know that, right?
I'm not objecting to the fact that like a fetus is a life. I'm not. That's not my objection.
Okay, so you're okay with taking a life?
Yeah, in certain circumstances, I think taking life is justified. And you would you agree that in certain circumstances, taking life is justified.
All this is proving. Sorry, Harry. Can I ask you this? Do you believe in God?
I'm atheist / agnostic.
Okay, this is proving Christianity by what you are saying right now on this live. What you are trying to justify is proving that there is a true force out there that does not like human life, that is trying to get rid of it.
Oh my God.
Yes or no?
This is like the dumbest
4.8 thousand people.
You're asking me yes or no? No.
Proof.
It's what? What was that?
It's literal proof that
it's not proof. Then if you think that's proof of like the existence of a God, then your burden of proof, or your standard of proof, I should say, is all the way in the bottom. You could see like a trash bag roll on the street, and you could be like, "Oh my God, the movement of the trash bag is justification that there's a higher power out there because it's being moved by an energy. It couldn't be anything else other than a higher power." Do you not hear how absurd that is? You just being like, well, you're pro-choice. You want women to be able to control their own bodies and, have access to reproductive care if they're assaulted, or even if they just want to access that care. That must be evidence of something that is a higher power or a nefarious power out there trying to make humanity better. Your standard of proof is all the way in the bottom. It's confirmation bias at the end of the day. You're just trying to find things in society that makes you believe in your religion.
And
you're picking anything to just be religious.
What you're sitting here trying to justify is insane. You're sitting here saying an opinion is more important than a
I think Nurse Heather's here. I'm going to bring up Nurse Heather. She's a nurse. She can talk to you more about the science about all this, because I can't listen to this argument anymore of like, my God, this is evidence of the devil. Holy crap. We're like, can't believe. Never mind. I shouldn't say that. Go ahead, Nurse Heather, if you have any comments to make.
Do I have any comments to make? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a mess. Okay, so yes, I'm a labor and delivery nurse. Buddy, where do you want to start?
Okay, if you're a labor and delivery nurse seeing all of those babies come into this world, tell me, how are you okay? Are you okay with taking a 24 week fetus / baby out of this world?
So personally, I think that 24 weeks is a little bit late. I would like it to be 20, but regardless, the law is 23 weeks and 6 days. So, yeah.
Okay. At that point, do they have limbs? Yes or no?
Oh my God.
Yes.
This is such a terrible argument.
So can you explain to me the process of an abortion at that term?
Okay, so at the very end.
Yes. So they the suction cup, everything, if you don't mind.
No, they don't do that that late. So I don't think I can. Like it's a little bit graphic. You are incorrect in the like tearing limb to limb thing. They don't do that. What they do,
there's an abortionist doctor that is going around the U.S. talking about the process.
You just say abortionist?
Abortion doctor, sorry. That is going around the U.S. talking about what it takes in order to have a baby taken out of this world. I don't know the exact process, but I do know it's pretty tedious enough for a nurse to not want to come up and
Okay, so The reason is because I don't want the live to get taken down. It's not because like I'm running away from it. So at that stage of pregnancy, we actually just do it pretty much like a birth. So there is like a period of time, like Harry was saying, like most abortions, like 90% of them happen really early on, before 12 weeks. They're done by a pill, and it's just a miscarriage. So unfortunately, yeah. So, I mean, I have held like a 20-week fetus in my hand. They are incredibly fragile. So I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't happen, that when they're removed from the uterus, that there is not some form of, I guess, dismemberment, I guess is the word you're looking for. So usually the baby has already passed before that, or they're too young to have any capacity to feel pain. So they can't, like their brains aren't developed enough for them to even have an experience of that being a negative thing. So it's like, yes, it is. There's a period of time in there where it is a pretty like gruesome process.
But again, can we just stress to this guy again that this is not frequent. It's not common.
So these late terminations, the ones close to 24 weeks, are super, super, super rare.
Parker's here. Shout out everybody also for coming for Parker's Live. I appreciate you. Sorry, continue.
Parker, face to face.
What's up?
Hey.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Now I'm gonna fangirl. Holy. Okay. Yeah. So usually what happens, the reason that these terminations happen after 20 weeks is typically a woman will have an anatomy scan, so an ultrasound at 19 or 20 weeks, and they check the baby over for all of the necessary organs and whatnot. And this is where they will discover if the baby has something called fetal anomaly incompatible with life. If it does, then the family is given the option to terminate the pregnancy. And this is it's a big deal. There's not very many doctors that will perform these terminations. So the unit that I work at is one of only 3 in my, so I'm Canadian, of my province that does this. We only have 3 doctors in our province that do it. And so if we have like somebody from up north and they find this out at 20 weeks, they've only got a couple of weeks to do all of the doctor's appointments and like get in with one of these 3 doctors. And like, so it's a big process. It really doesn't happen that often. It's pretty rare. So, and it's usually only for that reason. So for a woman to wait that long to choose to terminate a pregnancy just for maternal choice happens I would say never, but the reason I can't is because I have seen it once.
You're on. You're off the app, by the way. I can't hear you. Come back. Now you're muted.
Okay, so even less than 1% is too much. What? It just seems like it's impossible.
Sorry, 1%. No, I've seen it one time.
Okay,
not 1%.
So I'm just giving an analogy. So even less than 1% would be too much. Say it was 1%. Even then's too much, because I'm just giving an analogy. But just picturing and just knowing where a baby is at in that stage, because I have a baby, I know where they're at, and I've seen an abortion at that term, on YouTube and online, that they are fighting. You can tell, you can see it. Is there any emotional or connection or any more? I mean, guys, just think about what we're even talking about here. Where's the borderline at nowadays?
We told you it's viability.
Why am I even on a live with 6,000 people arguing about taking a human life out of this world.
Wait,
Whether it's a week, whether it's
Five. Can I give you a different perspective?
not just yet, Parker. Whether it's a week to 20 weeks, it doesn't matter. Parker, you were 1 week at one point. Harry, you were 1 week at one point. I was 1 week at one point.
This doesn't disprove anything that I or Nurse Heather have said thus far.
Because another reason, I have a baby. If you cannot imagine your baby going through that belief, you should not believe it.
That still does not disprove anything.
That's called being a hypocrite.
Fivefold, I want to ask you a very conceptual question, right? If you were in a burning building and you could either save 2 non-sentient embryos at 12 weeks, right, or 1 newborn baby, which would you rather save from the burning building?
Sorry, repeat that.
If you were in a burning building and you could either save 2 non-sentient embryos at 12 weeks, right, or you could save 1 newborn baby, which would you rather save?
2 non-sentient. I will go with it. Newborn baby.
Okay. Well, then that means you don't value a 12-week non-sentient embryo the same as you value other people. So, like, you're asking
at
me,
least half as much. You're asking me. I have enough time to save one of the 3. Yes or no?
Yeah, you can. No, you can either save 2 embryos or 1 newborn baby.
So I can either save 2 embryos or 1 newborn baby. How is that possible?
Oh my God,
it's a hypothetical. It's like, have you ever heard of like a trolley example, like within philosophy? They say like it's essentially like, I'm trying to describe like which one do you value more.
That's not reality though. We're talking about human
life. Actually, it's
spare me. You were just talking about Satan a minute ago. Please don't don't hit me with a reality conversation here, buddy.
Harry, you might not believe that IVF. Harry, you might not believe that, but that is reality.
I cannot believe that Parker just tried to bring the trolley scenario to your attention. You're like, well, that's not reality. But then simultaneously, again, you were saying that I'm part of like Satan's plan because I'm pro-choice. Sorry, Heather, you were saying something.
I'm sorry, Harry, but that is reality.
Just be quiet. We don't need to hear you. Go ahead, Heather.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like this actually isn't that far-fetched of a hypothetical situation, because you can actually have facilities where they do IVF procedures. So you would have labs that have frozen embryos in them. Like Parker's being incredibly kind in saying only 2, whereas it would be hundreds or thousands of embryos kept in a lab. At the same time that you would have like a facility for maternal fetal medicine where you would have moms and babies.
Logically, I'm sitting here thinking about, I'm going into a burning building and I hear a crying baby, or I see 2 embryos. If I pick them up, they are not going to survive. I obviously have to pick the one that's more than likely going to survive.
Well, assume that whichever one you choose would survive.
Because at that point it's a developing being. It's very gentle. There's no possible way of it surviving.
Hypothetically speaking, whatever you pick survives.
Yeah. So Parker, you asking me that question also does not justify anything, because again,
no, dude. All I'm and what I'm demonstrating is that no, you don't. And then I'm going to ask you, what is the distinction in qualities that they have that means you value one at least 2 times more than you value the other one?
Question for you. If you believe something to be true, then you should be able to believe that thing about yourself too, correct? Yes or no?
I don't even know what that means.
Nobody knows what that means.
Yes, I do. If you believe something in a situation, say you believe something, Parker, would you believe that? You obviously say, I believe, trying to give you a good example. When I believe something, I believe that thing to be true in and out, in my life and outside of my life. I can't just believe something for another person. I have to believe for myself too.
I don't know what you're saying.
Is that incorrect?
Dude, do you even remember what my question was?
I didn't even hear your question.
I'm sorry, dude. Like, oh my God. Okay, so do you know what I'm trying to demonstrate? I'm trying to say that, like, you value a newborn baby at least 2 times more than you value, right, an embryo, meaning that there's some quality in a newborn baby that an embryo doesn't have that means it's more valuable. What is that quality going to be? It's most likely going to be their sentience, their subjective experience. If that is the difference in quality, well, then obviously, right, you're not going to say that it's going to be murder, right, to kill it before it has that quality, right, because you don't value it that much, right? The same way that you don't value, like, sperm. Sperm are biologically living, right? You don't value them. You don't think that it's murder for a family to pull the plug on an individual in their family that's brain dead? They're still cellularly alive.
Let me ask you something. If you believe that your kid shouldn't smoke cigarettes, you're not going to smoke cigarettes too, right? Because
I don't smoke cigarettes.
Okay, but it's just
also, by the way, like if you think that your kid shouldn't do it, that might just be because of their current state of development.
No, like in general, say you're 60 years old, your kid's 30, you tell them, hey, you don't need to be smoking, but you're
wait, they can do whatever they want once they're 30 years old. What are you talking about?
Okay, but you're still a parent and you want the best for your child. So
what's your point? I think at 30 years old I shouldn't smoke cigarettes.
Okay, doesn't really matter. I'm just giving you a simple belief system. You have a belief system about something. You tell your kid not to do it, but you're doing it. Is that a true belief system?
Yeah, like Donald Trump.
Yes or no?
Like he's saying don't be a criminal, but like himself, he's a criminal.
Parker, I'm asking you a question. If you believe something to be true, but you don't do that thing for yourself, I gave you an example.
How does can you tell how this fits into like
I don't see how it's
scenario?
relevant at all.
Like, how does this fit with abortion?
Let me tell you why this is a big deal. Because majority of people are not okay with aborting their own child.
I don't care.
You're okay with
I think a lot
aborted.
of women are comfortable with making that decision if they have to.
Majority of people are not okay.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think a majority of people fucking think an embryo is valuable. Like, to be totally fucking honest with you, who the fuck thinks an embryo is valuable? I'm serious, dude.
Okay, let me tell you this. My baby Tyler, who's 2 years old now, was an embryo at one point. I saw him
cool.
as a human
and you
life
used to be a fucking sperm cell, dude. You understand that you were created by a sperm and an egg? I didn't value it when it was a sperm and an egg. You used to be a zygote. Do you value a single cell organism?
Blows my mind. That
Fivefold. I have a question. I have a question. Fivefold. Good question. Tremendous question. Tremendous question. Incredibly tremendous question.
Shut up. Be quiet. There's a great question coming in.
I promise you'll listen. Listen.
Both Harry, you and Parker are big men to come up here and to try to take away human life.
Excuse me. Hold up. So if you have a petri dish, you create a zygote, a single cell organism, human life at conception, and I slap the fuck out of that zygote. Should I go to prison?
Come back, buddy. You're not on TikTok. You gotta come back.
If I slap the zygote, should I go to prison for murder?
I don't have anything else to say, guys, besides.
Fivefold. Answer the question.
Yes.
Fivefold, can I ask you something? Have you considered? Sorry, you might have addressed this already. I have not heard the entire conversation. The IUDs or IVFs. Where do you stand on those?
IVF is where they help with fertilization, correct? Or they
so they take out the egg, they combine it with a sperm in a petri dish in a lab, and then once they create an embryo, then they put it back into the mother. The problem so people that are like strongly pro-life and actually understand how all of this stuff works realize that when they do this, they actually make many embryos, and then they only put a couple at most into the mom, and then they freeze the rest. And so typically what happens with the ones that are frozen is eventually, if they don't get used, they get destroyed. Mm-hmm. So people who are, very strong pro-lifers are actually against IVF typically. And then the other one that I asked about was an IUD. And the reason that I asked about an IUD is because IUDs, they don't necessarily prevent conception. They do prevent implantation. They usually prevent conception, but not always. So like, are you a life at conception? No other explanations. Like, do you even understand what that means?
No, I do. I know IUD, IVF, just brain twisted right now. Long conversation with these guys can get you, because they're good at what they do. I'll give you guys that. But what about them? IVF, I haven't honestly done too much research into either of those. IUD, IVF, my stance on them, I couldn't tell you. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with the IVF.
It's the principle. It's a principle, right? So Nurse Heather was just laying out that with like IVF, they normally make a number of embryos, but a lot of these embryos are destroyed if they're not used after a certain period of time. Are you saying that IVF should now be banned in your view?
I don't know, to be honest.
So this is the exact reason why Trump is like waffling on the abortion debate, is because like when he was like total abortion ban, whatever, pro-lifers are like, yay, amazing, we're going to be able to get rid of IVF. And then people are like, Trump, you can't like be against IVF because that's how so many people have their families. And then he's like, oh shit, now I need to backtrack and say that, you know, IVF is okay. And so it's like he doesn't, he's too dumb. He doesn't know. So
the biggest problem I have is with me, with a belief system. If I believe something to be true, I believe it for myself 100%, and everything around me. It has to be a solid belief.
But do you hear what you're saying? That
something
if
that
you
I know
believe
to
something,
be true for myself too.
Okay, but
and
that's
for abortion,
you.
I can never
That's
see
you.
me aborting my own child. So
That's you.
I do not.
Am I wrong to assume
for that
that
reason?
you
Because
don't
that's
have a
being
uterus?
a hypocrite. No, because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
I don't know what you're talking about aborting your own child.
I cannot.
Do you have a uterus?
A fetus. I cannot justify a fetus, which my baby was. I cannot justify a fetus, which my baby was, being out of this world. Those other fetuses that you guys are
news for
arguing
you,
about
buddy. You never
are going
have
to
to
be a
worry
baby
about
too.
it because you do not have
I'm
a
sorry,
uterus.
but at that point, you're wrong. Okay.
Because you won't have to make
What
that
does it
choice.
matter if I don't have a uterus? What does that matter? What does that have a conversation have
She's
to
talking about
I'm
how
talking about
what you're saying is what you
human
believe
life
to be true about
over
you and
your
yourself,
uterus.
and you have to be consistent with that, which is totally respectful, like respectable. That's fine.
You do.
Do I?
And everybody else does. You need to be consistent with it too.
Yes.
Do you have children, Heather? You don't have to tell me. It's a person. Okay, then if you can't be consistent with them not being in this world anymore, then you can't believe in it. At that point, that's hypocrisy. I'm sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! I don't care. I don't care about zygotes.
Yes.
I will never care about a zygote.
You were sitting here saying you were okay with it. You were okay with you having the choice.
He's crashing out
You're
on
okay
live.
with,
I'm gonna blow your mind right now. Are you ready for this one?
Abort your children.
No, listen. I'm going to blow your mind right now. Okay, I am a labor and delivery nurse. I help people terminate their pregnancies. I, myself, for my body, I am pro-life. I would not choose to terminate a pregnancy for my own body. That's how that works. That's why it's pro-choice. That's why it's pro-choice versus pro-life.
If you believe in that other people should have the choice to have an abortion, that's a belief system that is very strong. You need to have a belief system for yourself too. That's obvious. It's a very obvious thing when you have a strong belief system like that, or else our children are not grounded in a good, solid faith and belief system. They don't know which way to go. Children are already confused enough in this world.
I don't think you're right.
We're going to sit here and say,
because of MAGA.
They think about that
simple.
stuff.
Wait.
They do. I think about the fact, what about me? What about me, mommy? What about me, mommy?
No,
that's
not.
the question that you have to answer to them. That's sick.
And then look, he leaves because he doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, he runs away because he's.
What a snowflake.
I mean, what a dumb argument. His entire thing was an emotional argument that he even acknowledged. He's like, yeah, I'm making an emotional argument, then expects like it to be solid.
That's I don't know. You know, it's interesting. They overcomplicate these things so much because so my daughter, she's almost 18, right? We talk about this all the time. It's actually just very simple. Like it's a choice. Like
I don't even understand what you're saying.
You get the information, you get to think about the information, and then you get to turn around and make a decision. And like,
yeah, why was he saying like? I think this guy wants to joke. Why was he? Like the whole like, oh, kids are misguided. Oh, Parker just left. Why was he saying like the kids are misguided type thing? I don't even know.
Well, I think what he's saying is like because I'm not being consistent, and the fact that like I don't believe for my body that I would make the choice to terminate a pregnancy, yet I help other women make that choice.
That was an excellent.
And follow through with it for whatever reason, that he's saying I'm being inconsistent to my children, my own children.
Yeah, it's like really dumb.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's like a really dumb argument. Anyway, Nurse Heather, you're welcome to stay if you'd like. It's
I'd
totally up
love
to
to.
you.
Yeah.
That's totally up to you. Jack,
Hello, I'm
hello.
18. I turned 18 November 4th.
And
Dude, come on.
I'm 6'7" and I'm in
I'm
the
Santa
NBA.
Claus.
So if that's the case, all right. If you're
Yeah,
MAGA, let
I'm
me know.
currently playing for the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah. Both Parker and I actually play for the Lakers. If you're 18, then I'm a Los Angeles Laker, buddy. If you're MAGA, let us know. We'll bring you up, and you can. I don't know. If you're pro-life, especially if you want to come up and talk about being pro-life, we'll definitely let you up.
Yeah, I'll also take on any of the transphobic people too. That's another favorite of mine.
If you fall into any of those categories, which there must be.
If they're MAGA, it's like a 95% shot.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I've asked this question so many times. I do not understand why people are so afraid of trans people. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it makes absolutely no sense. It's such a strange thing that they have going on in the party right now, especially with like Nancy Mace and the bathroom things. I don't know if anybody's following that.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
All right, Crane and Rick. I brought up two people.
Rick, if you want to go first, bro, you can.
No, after you, man. After you.
Well,
So
I mean, that was
category you fall in. Are you pro-life, anti-trans, MAGA, or all of the above?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say all the above for sure. I guess, dude, I don't know how you guys do this, bro. Like, how do you guys talk for like hours and hours and hours about the same issues? Does that not mess with y'all's head at all?
No,
it's because we care. Like we want to change things in
Well, I
society.
know-
That takes doing stuff,
I mean,
and
yeah.
that'd be over and over and over again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, fair point. Well, I mean, I guess that's the topic then. I guess, Harry, what would you say like a good topic to kind of talk about?
Well, just like why did you vote for Trump?
Kind of go away from the business, I guess. Honestly, I don't know. I just thought Biden didn't do too great, and then like knowing that Kamala was a part of his administration.
Her name is Kamala, by the way.
Yeah, it's Kamala.
Oh, sorry.
Jasmine, thanks for the $1, by the way. Appreciate you. And Marino, thanks for the $2 as well.
But yeah, so I guess that she was a part of Biden's administration, knowing that the administration like didn't do too great. Just in terms of like world affairs, economy's not that great. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
but
when
the
Trump
follow-up
was
question is like,
president,
what did Biden and Harris do that made the economy bad?
I mean, what didn't they really do? You know what I mean?
Well, you have to
Yeah,
like
I know what you're
identify
trying to
something that they did that was bad that hurt the
yeah.
economy.
Right. So
The answer is like nothing. There's nothing that we can like shorten this conversation. There's nothing that Biden or Harris did that made the economy worse. They just inherited a bad economy from Trump, which I would also say Trump is not responsible for the economy that he left, given that COVID was a worldwide thing. It hurt the United States. It hurt every country in the world. And you would agree that like obviously Trump is not responsible for the 14% unemployment that happened under him and a lot of people losing their jobs. And if you agree with that in the same way, you'd have to say that Biden's not responsible for the inflation and prices going up. That was a result of the pandemic. And like if we're Trump in office, or we're anybody in office, inflation was going to happen no matter what. There were economists in 2020, even before Biden was president-elect or in office, writing about how inflation was going to go up as a result of COVID. So when you're talking about the economy, like, oh, the economy wasn't great, prices went up, there's nothing to do with Biden, nothing to do with Harris. And if Trump, well, not if Trump wins, when Trump gets into office, your prices are not going to go down. They probably will go up, actually, as a result of his policy. So,
can you explain, like, why do you think prices will go up if Trump places, like, a decent amount of tariffs on, like, imports coming in?
Yeah, because
tariffs,
go ahead. But by the nature of the tariff, in order to increase domestic production, it would have to increase the prices on goods coming into the country.
Yeah, but like, I mean, couldn't you just say, like, I guess hypothetically, if you kind of think about it, like, let's say, China produces, they have like a car company, right? And they're trying to sell this car in the United States, and Trump's just like, well, I don't want you selling this car in the United States. For one, you're kind of ripping people off. You're selling it in here for super cheap, destroying like American car companies because you're beating them in terms of prices, right? And Trump just puts a tariff
So are we
on
relying
that.
on the government to fix our problems, or are we saying people should do that
Well,
specifically through
well,
like
right,
they're
but I
pulling
mean,
themselves up by their bootstraps?
right. Well, there's like a world market, but then there's also like the countries market as well. Like they're
So
not
are you like
necessarily
big government MAGA conservative?
No, I'm definitely not like big government, but I understand like the government does play like a role like in its citizens' life. I mean, it's the government, bro. Like you needed to regulate things, you needed to like place policy. Like I understand that for sure. I would definitely not classify myself as like a crazy MAGA Republican. I think a lot of them have their own issues, just like a lot of like crazy leftists have their own issues as well. But yeah. Anyway, going back to like tariffs. Like, wouldn't it make sense, like, if Trump placed a tariff on that car company in China, where it literally made it impossible for them to sell that car in the United States? Like, it made it impossible. He placed like a 2,000% tariff on this car company, where they were just like, all right, you know what, screw it. We're not even going to try to sell in the United States anymore. There's
It
no
would cause
point.
prices to go up.
Well, the price wouldn't go up because they wouldn't even try to sell it.
Yes, it would. It would
Then
absolutely
only
go up. What are you talking about? If you reduce the supply of goods in the country, that's going to increase the price.
Okay, but in order for the price to go up, there would need to be a product. There wouldn't even be a product because they wouldn't even try to sell it in the country. They would just say, well, the tariff is so high in the U.S., there's no point in
Okay,
trying
so
to sell it.
let's just clarify this way, right? Regardless of what you think your explanation is, every economist disagrees with you. Literally everyone.
Yeah, but that's just, I mean, I feel like that makes sense logically. Does it not? Like,
No, it
if
doesn't. It doesn't make sense logically, nor does it make sense empirically.
if the tariff is so high that they're just like, there's no point in
That
even
would cause the
trying.
price to go up. The only way that it would cause an increase in domestic production is if it caused the price to go up. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but like, this is like, there are, what was it? I can't remember. There was, damn, I can't remember. What I think it was like I can't remember if it was in Mexico or something, but there was like some company that's trying to produce some product to, it's south of the United States. I can't remember which country it's in, but they were building out these facilities, and then Trump got elected, and they were just like, all right, just stop all the building of these facilities to push this product because there's no point. Because the moment that Trump gets in office, he's going to place tariffs on this like crazy. So we're not even going to try to make the product and sell it at this point because we just know we're not going to even be able to profit off this. The tariffs are going to be so high. So what that ends up doing
less
is
suppliers causes price to go up. Basic economics.
it doesn't cause the price to go up. It gives the American
does.
it gives American citizens, like American-owned companies, to be able to produce a product in the home country and just be able to.
Because it provides an incentive to because there's a higher price.
Yeah, but there's no product, so like there's no competition, so prices are lower.
Yeah, lower competition means higher price.
That's just like basic economics.
Yeah, I have a degree in economics. Basic economics indicates that if you have a lower supply, prices go up. You're saying lower supply, which means prices go up.
Okay, so So if there's 3 car companies in the United States, right? And then this is just hypothetical. There's 3 car companies in the United States, there's 3 car companies in China. For 4 years, the car company in China is able to sell in the United States, right? And then a new administration comes in and they place tariffs so high on these Chinese companies that they're just like, we're not even going to try to sell in the United States because we won't even turn a profit because the tariffs are so high. And they just say, we'll just go sell in Europe or we'll go sell South America, we'll go sell elsewhere. So they don't even try to like dabble in the US market anymore. How would that make the prices for the American companies go up? Like, I mean, you can kind of just say like, oh, they're not there, so the prices go up. But like, why do they go up?
Lower supply of goods provided, higher price.
Okay. Well, I mean, when Trump was in office, he placed a ton of tariffs and things were a lot cheaper. So I don't.
So again, you're at this point you're just denying reality that tariffs are going to increase prices. Like it's actually sad. It's actually really sad.
Why didn't they increase prices though? Like
because he didn't do universal tariffs. You're talking about specifically tariffs on particular individual industries, which in those individual industries it did cause prices to go up.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like agree unless you actually see it in action. Like we understand that Trump placed
Like
a ton.
we did again, but it just wasn't on the entire economy like he's advocating for now.
I mean, when he say he's gonna place tariffs on everything and everyone, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Anna, thank you for the $1. Thank you so much.
I don't think he's gonna do that though. I mean, I don't know if
he explicitly said he wants a universal tariff.
Okay. Seem a bit bored, bro. You good?
Me? Yeah, because I mean the argument you're giving is really bad.
I mean, it's not terrible, bro.
It is terrible.
Night and day, man.
What'd you say?
Sure. Sorry, what?
What did you say?
I don't even remember. I mean, I guess
Okay, I just kick this guy. Kick this guy, please. It's so cringe. I can't.
Yeah, that was not good.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was difficult.
Yo, Hope, thanks for the $3. I appreciate you. Sarah, thanks for the $1. Jessica, thanks for the $10. Jaden, thanks for the $20. The bracelets are they're friendship bracelets. They're very, very nice. Very nice.
Tessa, thank you for the $5. Thank you. You know, have you seen Liam do all the lives about us?
People have been bringing my attention to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Harry Parker,
Have you
how
seen
you guys doing?
Good Trouble's video about it?
Yeah, them doing
His
push-ups.
push-up contest?
Yeah,
Push-up
really
contest. Yeah, that was really
Oh.
Rick, what's up, man?
Not too much. How you been, man?
I'm
It's
good.
been a while.
Are you voted for Trump?
Yeah, no, we actually me, you, Parker, Dean, we've all been talking pretty much. This is my backup account. I can't go on my main account, but yeah, I got a couple questions. I got a couple questions for you guys though. You remember Isaiah Martin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell him he owes me 10 grand for the election. He bet me and then blocked me. First of all, that's
Yeah, I'll deliver the message.
that's a crazy thing. Like he wanted to bet me on live. There's footage out there, and he blocked me for that. But second of all, listen, man. Like I think you two, Parker, Harry, you guys are super smart, man. Like I'll give that to you. You guys are super smart. We talked a lot in the past. I just don't think that half of this country is wrong, or more than half the country is wrong. I mean, you guys are saying that, you know,
You're muted,
this,
Parker.
that, and the other thing, but half the country
It's not
voted
half
against
the
what you're
country.
saying.
Not only was it not half of the votes, it's not nowhere near half the country.
Well, it was half the votes, right? At least over half the votes.
No, it wasn't.
had
It
to
was
have
less
been.
than half. It was less.
Yeah, it's less than half.
Okay, so how did he win if it was less than half?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a critique
of people vote third parties. People vote different candidates.
okay, so the majority voted for Donald Trump. So you can't say that, you know, all of us are wrong. And I get
the majority did not vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, majority did.
Do I?
Majority did not vote for Donald Trump.
I mean, the majority did because Donald Trump won.
A majority of voters did not vote for Donald Trump. No.
Well, he
Did
won.
a majority of voters vote for Joe Biden?
Yeah, I mean, he won. He won the election.
So what did that say about Joe Biden?
What happens is, like you guys know, popular vote, electoral votes. You know what happens when people vote, and there was enough votes to get Donald Trump in office. So you can't. I mean, listen.
Yeah, we're not disputing that
there
Donald
was
Trump
enough
won,
people
unlike
there.
Republicans
There
dispute
was-
Biden's
there
wins.
was
Yeah, we're
enough
not going to raid the
people there.
Capitol.
Yeah, we won't
There
raid the
was-
Capitol
there
because
was-
of this.
There was enough people that voted saying that what Donald Trump said they believe in. So, I mean, listen.
Yeah, but just because people voted for it doesn't mean we can't think that these people are wrong. Like, if
No,
if
absolutely.
people,
Hey, listen,
if people
like
voted for
I
slavery,
said
think we'd all be
initially
like,
in my statement, you guys are very smart, very, very smart, and you're really well spoken. But I still think you guys are a little confused on a couple things, and that's
Okay,
that's
what?
where I'll leave it. But if you could please pass a message to Isaiah Martin.
You can't say we're
what are we-
Yeah, what are we confused about? You can't say that we're confused about something and then just like hit the dip.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, guys, we've talked like I'd say over a dozen times.
Okay, so please
I mean,
enlighten us what we're confused about.
There's a whole bunch, but my main message is if
Like
you
what?
could do me a solid here and give Isaiah
Can
Martin.
you please
that
shut the hell
message
up about
that
Isaiah Martin, buddy? Can you
No,
just tell us?
no, because he owes me 10
All right, man,
grand.
you have a good rest of your night, all right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
too.
you too.
Appreciate you. God,
Rick,
Kira,
honestly,
thanks for
I
the-
don't think I care, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. Kira, thanks for the $1. Ali, thanks for the $6.66. Trista, thanks for the $5. Molly, thanks for the 50 cents. Bex, thanks for the $5 as well. I appreciate you. Gina, thank you for the $5. You're amazing. Benetta, thanks for the $1. Hannah, thanks for the $10. Trista, thanks for the $5 again. And Jaleese, thanks for the $1. I appreciate you. And Anna, thanks for the $1 as well. Oh, man. Bring up this guy. American Hauler. Venmo Cash App in the link in bio for both Parker and I. Nurse Heather, I don't know if you have a Venmo Cash App, but do you?
I do not. We don't have them in Canada.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, you vote for Trump?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. 2024.
Why?
Okay,
What you
why?
laughing about?
Why'd you vote for Trump? Because you voted for Trump. I think that's funny.
I-
Why'd you vote for Trump?
I voted for him because I can trust him more than Miss Harris over there.
Why do you say that? When he lied like 30,000 times during his presidency, which averages around
Well,
20 a day, how can you say that you trust him more?
He was new at it, but now he's coming back better and stronger.
He's new at telling the truth?
Yeah, he's better than Miss Harris.
Wait, Trump was new at telling the truth when he ran for president in
No,
2016?
he was new at being a president because he didn't know what he was doing because he said back in 1990 something that he would never run for office. This is his second time coming back and fixing the country where it was before you Democrats came around.
Oh, yeah? What did us Democrats do to destroy the country?
Y'all
that he has to
just
fix?
get inflation rised up before Trump left.
So what did Biden do or the Democrats do to raise inflation?
Well, it's easy.
Please tell me.
It's every Democrat every time comes in office. Y'all little Democrats like to ruin our country.
So can
Through
you
what
answer
policy?
the question, please?
Do what, Harry?
Can you answer the question? Like, what did
Through what
Democrats do
policy?
to raise inflation?
It's the whole economy, gas prices. If you think about it, it's not because of Trump. Because
You keep saying the same thing over and over again. Can you tell us what Biden and Harris did to raise the prices of gas or inflation?
Well,
or anything?
one, by raising the prices, the homes that people are coming in.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay,
You keep
I'm
saying
gonna
raise
actually
prices.
I'm gonna freak out.
How did we raise the
How?
price? What policy?
I don't know. Maybe y'all can think about it on your
And I
own.
think of the $5, and I think of the taller.
Let's
And
look.
Blair,
Parker.
thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Blair. Can we get some W's for Blair in the comments? Thank you.
Okay, look, I'm going to say this. The open border is an issue, right?
Can you tell us? Hold on. How did Biden and Harris raise prices?
Because, look, I'm telling you right now. The reason why I say I think they started the inflation is because of COVID. That's one start, of course.
Okay, that's not. Do you think they
Then
caused
after,
COVID?
When Trump
didn't cause
lost
COVID.
office, wait a minute, I'm speaking.
You're not saying anything though. You're just going.
You're not letting me speak.
We've actually let you speak quite a few
Okay,
times
Harry,
now, and we're just
wait a
asking
minute,
for an
I'm
answer
speaking.
to the question. Go
Look,
ahead, you can speak now. You're
Ever
allowed.
since Biden came in office, right? Everything.
Inflation's been
Hush,
high.
hold up, I'm trying to explain it. Ever since Trump was in office, everything was great until that Democrats of Harris.
What years
and
was Trump in
Biden
office?
came in office with the inflation that they brought with them. And
What
in other
years?
words,
What years was
their
Trump in
Inflation
office?
Reduction Act never worked.
Hey, what years was Trump in office?
He went from 2016 to 2020.
So it was good in 2016.
He was good in 2016 all the way through.
Yeah, that's when
2020.
Obama was
It took Democrats
president,
to vote.
dude.
Yeah,
Obama was president in 2016, so he inherited a good economy.
No,
and then he
no,
was
no.
president through
Obama
until
was
2021.
Obama was president in 2009 all the way until Trump won.
Okay,
And
so
the
just out of curiosity,
inauguration-
when is the president inaugurated? When was Donald Trump inaugurated?
He
The
was
first time.
inaugurated on January the 20th, 2017, but he became president as soon as he won against.
Do you not fucking hear yourself?
What?
Do you
he
not
was
hear yourself?
Wait. Do you know the difference between president-elect and president?
Biden and Harris has
Wait.
been
Do you
fired.
think Trump is
To
currently
deal with-
president?
And Harry,
Wait, is Trump
mainly
currently
you
president?
Quit being on TikTok. and
Hey,
quit
is
crying
Trump
like a sore
currently
loser.
president? He thinks Trump is currently
Why did he
president,
leave?
dude.
He just straight up left.
What a fucking weirdo, dude. He actually, right now, thinks Trump is president. That's insane.
Yo, Destiny, thanks for the $5. Callie with the $1. Logan with the $5. I appreciate you, man. Isabella, thanks for the $1. And Kiki, thanks for the $50. Drop some W's for Kiki in the chat for the $50. I appreciate you so much. Fill the chat with W's for them. I appreciate you. Shout out $50. Are you kidding me? Fill the chat with W's. At least 50. At a minimum. You can do more. I'd encourage it. Kira, thanks for the $20 as well. And Lizada, thanks for the $1. I appreciate you all. Shout out you. Venmo Cash App for both Parker and I. Jeez, man. All right, if you're MAGA, come on up. Come on up, man. If you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. We will bring you up. And of course, you can talk about any of the topics that we listed. Trans rights, reproductive rights, Maybe Caleb Blue is. Maybe he's fixed his thing because he was meant to come up earlier. Where is he? Are you request? I don't know if he's requesting up. There he is. Reproductive rights, trans rights, or just general MAGA. Well, Caleb, are you still driving, buddy?
No, sir. Made it home safe sound.
Good looks. I'm glad to hear it. So you voted for Trump. Which would you like to talk about? Reproductive rights, trans rights, MAGA? What do you want to talk about?
Neither one. Just got a question.
You waited all this time for a question. That's dedication.
You and Charlie Kirk, y'all down for a interview with each other?
I would debate Charlie Kirk
I would
happily.
debate him at any point in time. He's still running away from me. We're trying to contact his manager right now, and he won't respond.
Yeah,
he said he would debate me and Dean after the election, and now he's not showing up.
I ain't gonna lie. I'd voted for Trump. Yes, I would watch that. It would be a good one. Don't care.
I've already debated him. Did you know?
Debate, but
Caleb, I've already debated him.
Where's that at?
It's on Jubilee.
Jubilee?
Yeah, it's like their 4th largest video.
All right. Yeah, hey, I'll check it out. Thank you.
All right, Caleb. Thanks, man.
Hey.
Oh, fuck. I kicked him. Sorry. Apologies, Caleb. I didn't mean to kick you that early. I meant to anyway. But I appreciate you coming up. All right. Hello. Are you MAGA?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I am not MAGA, but I do believe that there's a lot to be said about the RFK Make America Healthy Again argument.
That's kind of cringe.
That is cringe.
I'm ready to talk about it.
Well, thank God we have Nurse Heather up here, just, medical professional.
Yeah, so I actually I would say I'm super worried. RFK Jr. is definitely on the crazy side, but I do think the thing that Trump did by selecting RFK as an ally acknowledged a problem in this country that the left could have taken on as their own issue around regulatory capture. And I think it's a huge problem for big agriculture, big food, big pharma.
Sure. I think we should have hopped on that because then we'd actually be using factual information, unlike him.
Correct. But why didn't we?
Well, I don't know. I would argue we should have done that too.
Yeah. And all I'm saying is that's why I was putting Make America Healthy Again in the chat, because by no means do I think he will. By no means do I trust Trump to not throw him under the bus the second he goes against those special interests. But there's something to be said about the need to make America healthy again. And I think the Dems are really, ultimately the way the parties have sort of flip-flopped where, 15 years ago, Bloomberg was calling to ban big gulps in New York City. And the right went after him for that. This is a nanny state. And now you got RFK doing that on the right, on the far right. But it's interesting that Trump has sort of seized on going around the full horseshoe here, right? And really, it's seizing on the things that the Democrats should own but are not owning.
If you want to talk about electoral strategy, maybe it would have been wise for the Democrats to talk about that electorally. But again, I think the important recognition here is the fact that RFK Jr. is not going to do anything about this. Donald Trump's not going to do anything about this. So they can say it all they want. At the end of the day, they're lying about it, right? That's what it is. They're lying about it.
100%. But sometimes there's a little bit of.
So you probably shouldn't say make America healthy again, right? We can go about making America healthy in a variety of ways, or encouraging a healthy lifestyle in a variety of ways. And I don't even think that it starts with the conversation surrounding food.
No, there's so many. I would agree that
RFK is
very
insanely dangerous.
I actually would have preferred to have him on
Insanely
the EPA
dangerous.
side of things, where his expertise actually is more so.
No, nowhere.
Tell me what your issue is
He
on
needs
the
to be
EPA
gone.
side. I agree.
Far
His
over.
anti-vax stance is
No, just nowhere. Just nowhere. He can't be anywhere. He can't be in the EPA. Can't be in my view, can't be anywhere. If you're going to have conspiracy theories and reject science in some aspect or in some field, then I don't trust him to follow science and accept consensus in another.
So there's never going to be, and this is to me another issue with the far left right now, or the left in general, is the need for ideological purity and the rigidness around. You're never going to have people who are 100% perfect on everything, that 100% agree with you on everything. But some people are pointing out really important truths that when we reject them, you're pushing them out of the tent. And this is another example of what went wrong on the left. Is this?
Can you just tell me what specifically?
I'm talking about this specifically.
What you just said was very vague.
Okay, so
it wasn't specific.
So let's just use the RFK as an example, right? He is definitely a conspiracy theorist. He has tons of conspiracy theories that I think are very harmful. But he also has a couple of ideas out there that are good. And when you say that somebody label them as a whole,
Can you name one?
What?
Name an idea he has that is good.
I mean, his entire system of, I mean, the number of lawsuits he's had against.
No, like
big
what does he
oil.
want to do? Like a policy that he wants to do that was good.
Well, I mean, why do you think that Trump said that he doesn't want to let him near oil?
Can you like answer the question?
Yeah.
Right, like what policy did he advocate for that's good?
Yeah,
Name
we're asking
one.
like right now because he's going to be part of the government. So
Okay, seed oils.
There's no good evidence indicating that's bad. Like seriously,
and
like to a worser degree than exists with stuff that's already legal in the market. There's no good evidence indicating that. I can send you a doctor here on TikTok. His name is Dr. IDZ, right? He makes really good content, right, related to this. He just
Okay,
made
so
a video
one guy.
recently about seed oils.
The point is,
With one guy with a PhD, you know.
there are many people with PhDs out there that may disagree with that.
and RFK Jr. is not one of them, by the way. He's not
Yeah,
doing
but
anything.
he gives you a source with credible
Nor
science.
are you, though. Nor are
He gives you sources
Yeah,
with credible science, though.
100%.
And so people
100%.
need to
But
be
we're
able
not
to have
making bold.
debates.
Parker and I are saying, and of course, North Heather is saying, let's listen to the experts on this. Let's listen
Correct.
to the people who are actually studied in this field, not people who pretend to be studied in this field. RFK Jr.
Does RFK
is
have a medical background?
Pretender.
No, nor do I, nor do you.
Okay, but like I just referenced someone who does have a medical background.
Okay, and he
I do
and he
too.
is referencing people with medical backgrounds as well.
Nurse Heather, do you have any? What
Which
you said?
ones?
Seed oil. Do you have any like comment on that, Nurse Heather? About any chance? Do you know anything? I don't know if it's
I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I don't even. I think his claim is that it's like
what?
unhealthy or something.
Okay,
What are you
actually,
saying it's called?
Can I give a better example than seed oils?
Sure.
Actually, not necessarily better, just what I'm more informed about.
Sure.
High fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
What about it?
Yeah.
So
That is-
so is
yeah, actually, I'd like to hear
is
what North
RFK
Heather-
gonna? So then why did RFK drink Coke?
Well, because he's bowing and to Trump, which is terrible.
Yeah, and
So-
Trump's definitely
High
gonna
fructose corn syrup.
gonna ban a high fructose corn syrup. He's gonna ban Coke. Yeah.
Trump absolutely will not. That's not the point I'm making. The point,
Dude,
Trump
you just
absolutely-
conceded the argument.
I ceded what argument?
You know that they're not gonna change Trump. Like Trump's not gonna do it. You said Trump's not gonna get rid of high fructose corn
I did not
syrup,
vote
but-
for Trump. I do not believe he will do these things. I believe
Yeah, but you just said
RFK
that. Like I asked you, like a policy that the RFK is gonna implement.
I'm a policy that
And
RFK
Yvonne,
would,
thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Can we get some W's for Yvonne in the chat? Thank you so much, Yvonne. Yo, W's Yvonne.
a policy that RFK would want to implement if he didn't have Trump behind him is all I'm saying. And I'd like to hear Nurse Heather's take on high fructose corn syrup and why is the left not seizing on that issue? Oh, corn subsidies, right? Going back decades. This is an issue. These are issues that actually matter to people.
Wait, do you think it should be illegal though? We'd advocate for like universal health care,
No,
for making it
by
illegal.
no means do I think it should be illegal. I think we should.
So then, what's
reduce-
the issue with high fructose corn syrup being legal?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. We've had subsidies in this country on the corn industry because of that is one of our biggest industries. So we have
So
subsidies.
you're down for hurting farmers?
I would not want to hurt farmers,
That's what people.
Okay,
That's
but this
corn
is
farmers.
part of how we subsidize this. And so as a result, go buy a Coca-Cola in Mexico versus go buy a Coca-Cola here. The
You
reason
could
that
go
when you
buy
to
go
Mexico-
buy any other product in Mexico versus here. You could see different things. Buy it in a
There's a
country area
reason that
versus
Mexico
versus a
and-
city area.
Mexico and in the rest of the world, they have cane sugar in their Coca-Cola. We've
Okay.
replaced that in this country with high fructose corn syrup. Why? Because it's
Okay, so do you
cheaper.
want it to be banned? Yes or no?
No, I want us to reduce the subsidies so that we're not artificially deflating the cost of high fructose corn syrup so that they end up using it in the drink because it's poison. It's actual poison causing
Okay, so
obesity,
you want to get
diabetes.
rid of subsidies for corn? So you're arguing?
I think that we would have to evaluate the economic impact of doing so.
No,
the
I'm just
impact
asking.
on
Do you
jobs
want to
doing
so,
so,
get rid
but I
of
think
the
to make America
No,
healthy
the question.
again, it
I'm
would go
asking you a
long
very
way.
specific question. Do you want to get rid of the subsidies for corn?
Do I want to? I would like to see an analysis. I personally think that we should probably phase them out. I don't think you should do anything overnight.
So get rid of subsidies for corn.
Yeah, I also don't think we should subsidize oil.
Okay, that's completely irrelevant to that point. But
no, it's about we subsidize in this country.
Yeah, wait. So if you have an issue with the subsidies for corn, sure, right? But if you're advocating to get rid of that, then you're not advocating, right, for like helping farmers or like giving them a transitionary stage. You're just kind of advocating for getting rid of subsidies that currently exist for corn.
You just said I didn't have a transitionary phase. I said we should.
Couldn't you just tax it? Couldn't you just tax it for it being used in high fructose corn syrup?
A tax is just an inverse of a subsidy. Why would you tax something that you're subsidizing?
Because corn can be used for other things.
Of course it can, but including
so then
ethanol.
If you tax it specifically for high fructose corn syrup, well then you're making it less competitive to utilize high fructose corn syrup without getting rid of the subsidies that exist for farmers.
I understand that there would be a negative impact on farmers. Just like when we lobby on the left to, for example, shut down coal mines, not do fracking. What does that do for fracking jobs, right? It's bad. But sometimes we have to make trade-offs about the health of the country. And yes, again, this is why you don't do these things overnight. You do them phased. You introduce, job education.
I just gave you a mechanism that you can specifically ensure that you keep these jobs without specifically, right, like what's it called, getting rid of or without like utilizing high fructose corn syrup, because you make it less competitive in the market.
I'm really curious.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can tax, right, the usage or the turning of corn into high fructose corn syrup, right? So if you tax that specifically, it would make it less competitive on the market, and then we would just naturally use cane sugar because it would be more cost effective.
I love it.
Jamie, thank you for the $5. Thank you, Jamie.
I love it. And all I want to say, I mean, I hopped on here. Again, I did not vote for Trump. I was saying something about a specific issue about making the country healthy again. But the whole point of me jumping on here was really just to demonstrate something. Like what you just said is a fantastic idea. And I'm on board for it. It's not something I thought of. I can admit that. But I think a lot of I've watched you guys before. It's so focused on dunking on other people and picking people that are not informed on issues so that you can make yourself sound more right.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's not about making ourselves sound right.
Ridiculous. What a stupid thing to say.
Yeah. What about it's about utilizing specifically things like debates, right, to change people's minds and to educate them. You understand that we serve a specific purpose, right? If people were just looking for educational content, not looking for something like debates and entertainment plus education, well then they would be watching the plenty of different videos that exist on TikTok that are strictly educational. Right? But we're getting people to educate themselves utilizing debates. So you can say like, oh, you guys get people up here to debate who are less intelligent. That's just part of the content. That's part of like changing people's opinions in this side of content.
No, and that's my point. There definitely is a role to change opinions, but noticing that they're opinions, and that on top of that, what just happened was you came out with a really good policy idea that I had never heard of. I don't know that anyone's put that forward. But to be able to talk about these things and not just try to figure out who's right and who's wrong, and instead get creative about how we can actually agree on solutions.
Okay. So then, why don't people watch like the platforms that exist in which do that to a greater degree?
Give me an example.
You understand that if I were just to come up here and just talk about policy, right, that is on the left side with people, and I'm not debating people, right, that's a different purpose than me coming up here and debating people. There are platforms that exist where it's just people engaging with their side. Right, that's not how our platform works, right? And we actually are, like, Harry's doing this conversation. I, on my live, wouldn't have this conversation. I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I wouldn't have this conversation because I'm debating with people on the other side. I'm not talking to people on my side.
Did we not debate at all? And what is sides?
I'm debating people who think that Trump is okay.
So, okay, and
yeah, that's the main. That's the main thing we're trying to.
That's what we're debating. Like literally, what does it say behind him? It doesn't say. It doesn't say like, oh, come up here if you're on the left and you like have disagreements here with the Republican or the Democratic Party's messaging, right? It says on the back, right? Prove me wrong. Trump is terrible.
Yeah, and just that, for example, I'm really curious because I know that gets engagement, but Trump is terrible. On a general principle, like I'm inclined to agree with that. But where I would like to go is to define what that even means. Like terrible is a very like.
I think he's awful. I think he sucks. I think he's bad.
Okay, you agree that he's terrible. I don't think that's. What do you mean in fucking what ways? What are you talking about? He's held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. He tried to coup the country. Tried to restrict women's access to abortion. He called for complete. Because I know that you already know the answer.
Yeah, like what?
We're
What's
asking the
what's the
question
point?
knowing
What's
the
the point
answer.
of
And
having
that's
this
a
conversation?
philosophical conversation
What's the
about
point?
what.
Listen, buddy. What's the point in
question
having the conversation of us defining what the word terrible means in relation to Trump? We all agree, I think, that Trump is terrible. What's the point of this conversation?
Yeah, that's why we're talking to
That's
people who don't believe it.
that's
That's when
actually
we're
what
trying
I'm.
to talk to people who disagree with us.
That's actually what I'm asking you. Is what is the point of the conversation of debating whether Trump is terrible when that sentence is sort of vague and meaningless?
Because
That's
there
not
are
even what you were
people
just
on the
saying.
other side that believe he's not terrible. You agree that he's terrible. That's not confusing. We've already clarified. You agree with us that he's terrible.
But
What
I
the
don't think
fuck
it's
are
like
you
an
saying?
objective thing that you could actually debate.
We're not saying it's objective.
But
What are you talking
you
about?
just said you want to debate it. How can you debate something that's not?
Okay, now
doesn't have
look.
any
All
What do
you
you mean?
objective
Wait. You don't
validity?
think you can debate
Parker, he just wants
subjective
to
things?
argue about something.
Wait. Do you think you can debate whether or not LeBron or MJ are better?
Absolutely, you can, but you have to
And
define.
that's still
metrics by
fucking
what you mean.
subjective. What are you talking
But you
about,
have
dude?
to
It's not
define
an
metrics.
It's not objective who's better, either
Wait.
MJ or LeBron.
We define metrics in the conversation as well. That's the point. It's like Trump is terrible. I think he's terrible. People come up. Why do you think he's terrible? Why do you think he's good? Then we define metrics. Then we get into it. Also, you just want an argument right now. You're literally just trying to pick an argument about anything to continue the debate. You're asking us to like quantify what terrible means in the context of this conversation. You just want to. You just want an argument. So if you want an argument, there's plenty of people you can go argue with. But we are not those people.
This conversation could have been over, and I probably could have signed off and should have signed off.
Yeah, because I would have kicked you off because it's not related to the topic. You know what I mean?
When Parker had that great idea.
Okay, great. So let's just leave it there. Let's leave it there. Done.
I'm happy to leave it there.
Okay. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Diane, thank you so much for the $20 for Please Do Not Stop Fighting the MAGAs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Diane. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually had something to say to him.
You can still say it. I mean, I'm sure he's.
That's okay. I think that so the RFK thing, like I think that in a lot of ways it's a big distraction. So like for him focusing on things like high fructose corn syrup and seed oils is that really what we need to be thinking about right now? Even if we're only sticking to the context of talking about RFK's beliefs, because for me, obviously as a nurse, my biggest issue with him is going to be the anti-vax issue. And I mean, I've seen measles outbreaks and because
didn't RFK Jr. like play a role in something like that in a country somewhere? I forget the story. I shouldn't speak on it. I don't remember the story.
Well, he says that vaccines. He's on the vaccines cause autism. He's also on the antidepressants lead to mass unalivings, which is obviously not true either. So like he's got some pretty big. And then this one I don't understand at all is the frogs and the water turning the frogs gay thing.
Yeah, he's with Alex Jones on that
understand
one.
Where that came from.
It's crazy.
So like even in the context of just talking about RFK, there are some like much more dangerous topics to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Jessica, thanks for the 98 cents saying Michelle Obama campaign on healthier food. Exactly. Emma, thanks for the $5 as well. Yeah, they hated that, by the way. I mean, anyway. Jasmine, thanks for the $5. We'll definitely give you some recommendations for New York City. Jim, thanks for the penny, and Blair, thanks for the $25 as well. I appreciate you, Blair. Thanks for being here again. And Anna, thanks for the $1.
I'm convinced that Trump could come out in support of universal health care, and then they would start supporting it.
Yeah, 100%. Whatever he says, they do. Ren, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I Drew,
did.
Thank you for the $10. Thank you, Drew.
You did. And Chelsea, thanks for the $5 as well. I appreciate you. You voted for Donald Trump, huh?
I was having a conversation with somebody about
I would love
universal
universal
healthcare. Yes,
I would. I know a lot of lifelong Republicans that wanted universal health care. Harris did not put forth any coherent policy on how she was going to go about doing that.
Expanding the ACA? She did. That's a policy specifically. Donald Trump didn't have a healthcare plan. He said he had concepts of a plan.
We also have more people insured with healthcare right now in the United States than ever before in American history.
Right, because it's illegal not to have health insurance.
No, that mandate was struck down by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, what?
As far as I know, it hasn't been.
It is not illegal to be uninsured.
But you said, if Trump come out with it, that they would all be for universal health care. But I know a lot of people that are Republican that have been for universal health care, but that's not the point. I
don't even know how that's possible, but okay.
Well, because there's other stuff that I wanted to talk about besides just universal health care. Because, like I said, I just wanted to say that, I did vote for Trump, but I do support universal health care.
No, I know that I hear you, and I hear you saying that you have Republican friends who do, but I don't understand how you could vote for Donald Trump, but also be a supporter of universal health care. Because even with the ACA, for example, which did a lot of great things, Trump tried to overturn the Affordable Care Act, get rid of it in office, and only failed because Senator John McCain had the courage to vote against it. And if he would have been successful, would have kicked 20 million Americans off of their health insurance like that. Just like that, gone. Health insurance gone for millions of people.
Yeah, Affordable Health Care Act.
Isn't he vowing to do it now, though?
Well, yeah, I
even
mean, he's
$5. Thank you so much.
He's like flip flopped on it because the Affordable Care Act is super popular. So he's like, well, no, I'm not actually going to get rid of it.
I know personally, like with the Affordable Health Care Act, my husband was military, and when he got out, we were fined for not having insurance.
That was a temporary. Well, it was the individual mandate, and then that got overturned.
I think that's why a lot of people, that's where the reserve comes from. I think, but so my policy is that, with like the economy, right? The 60-minute interview that Kamala did with Bill Whitaker, and the economic policy.
By the way, her name is Kamala. Just letting you know.
Kamala.
Yeah. Looks like
Kamala or VP Harris.
It's a dialect. It's just a dialect. It's not a y'all take that very personal. It seems
No, I'm
like
just saying you could say VP Harris.
You can say Harris.
If you don't
that
say
works.
it how it's supposed to be said, you could just say VP Harris.
Okay, in order to not be offensive to you, I'll call her Harris. When Harris did the Bill Whitaker interview, he's talked about the economic policies wouldn't work, and he gave the statistics on it. Can you defend that?
No, I think what Bill Whitaker was asking is how are you going to pay for it. He wasn't saying that these things aren't going to work, because also he's a journalist, by the way. Like his position is not this is or is not going to work. But he was asking Kamala Harris what is she going to do in terms of like how are you going to pay for it in revenue? Like how are you going to make that revenue up? How are you going to pay for it? And she talked about raising taxes for like ultra wealthy people in the United States to pay for this stuff.
Right. Well, then why didn't they do that before?
Why did they do what before?
Why did they not implement that previously?
So they've tried to overturn. Right now, we're under Donald Trump's tax system. So they've put forward policies to do that, but Republicans filibuster it every single time.
Is it because of what all else is involved in the bill, though?
Nope, but just because they believe fundamentally with Donald Trump's tax policy.
I thought it had to do with pork barreling.
They might say it's this or that, but look, the Republicans support Trump's trickle down economics policy. That's if they. They're obviously not in favor of like raising the taxes on the wealthy, which is what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden wanted to do to raise revenue for this stuff. But
if we do raise the taxes on the wealthy, though, wouldn't that dissuade others from trying to climb the economic ladder?
Why would it dissuade somebody from trying to
Well,
climb
why
the
would
economic
you
ladder?
want the majority of your paycheck to go towards taxes?
It's not a majority of your paycheck. It's like know how like tax brackets work, right?
Yes, I'm aware of how tax brackets.
So yeah, so you're not like giving up a majority of your paycheck, and like even if you're in a higher tax bracket than somebody else, you pay a higher tax bracket on the money past that past bracket. You know what I'm saying? So if like there's a tax bracket between like you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And Obama.
Okay, so you're not giving up a majority of your paycheck, and if you still have that incentive to make more money because you're still going to be taking home more money.
I don't know. I think it would dissuade. I really do, because
Why would it dissuade? Because think about how tax bracket works. You're only paying in that whatever tax bracket you're in. You're paying that on the amount past the previous tax bracket. So if you make $60,000, you're still taking home more money than somebody that's making $50,000, even if you're in two different tax
I
brackets.
think it should be a flat rate. If I'm being honest.
No, that's so dumb.
Why is 10%? Like say 10% for everybody. Like that is like one of the
Because
most.
that just hurts the middle class more than it hurts like the wealthy. Because think about it, like if you make $100,000 a year, right, versus somebody making $1 million a year, $100,000 for somebody making $1 million a year is, in terms of like what they can buy and how much it impacts their personal life, way less significant than somebody making $100,000 a year and then having to give up $10,000.
In theory, that does sound nice, but it didn't work under Obama. So why would it work under Harris?
What didn't work?
The taxing the upper brackets more.
Why do you say it didn't work?
Because it was not effective. It did not work, and so
how do you?
You're just saying it's not effective. What about it?
Yeah. Why do you say that?
I mean, 2008, I graduated high school, and I went into, real life scenario, and it did not do anything like he said it was going to do. That's what I mean by it was ineffective. He said that, oh, we're going to raise taxes on the rich. It's going to make the economy better. This will be better. That'll be better. And the numbers don't show that. What he was
I mean, so what numbers are you referencing that say it doesn't show? I think Obama's presidency was very successful in terms of the economy.
I mean, I think it was as successful as like Biden said when he said that that he defeated Social Security. It was
I don't even know what that means. But like, so Obama inherits the housing crisis in 2008, and he has a terrible economic crisis. You're not blaming him for that, right? You're not saying that.
I don't think he helped with it. I think he could have done better with it. I think Obama was way more intelligent than history is gonna know him for. He didn't do the policies.
We had a great recovery following the 2008 recession.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't feel it. I don't know who. I don't know.
It probably was difficult because there was a huge housing crisis. So,
yeah, there was. Yeah, but his policies that he proposed, that Harris was also proposing, were ineffective. Is my point. So,
what policies was he proposing that Harris was also proposing that was ineffective?
Raising taxes on the higher brackets.
Wait, why is that ineffective?
Why? Yeah. What are you saying? Why are you saying that's ineffective? Like based on what?
It did not work.
Well, how do you saying that?
Because it didn't help.
Okay. So that's just like a synonym of saying it didn't work, right?
I don't know. I don't know any other way to put it. Like that's as simply
so
as
like data. Like what are you citing? Like what numbers?
The data of the economy at the time. The economy was one of the worst economies ever.
Because he inherited the housing crisis.
Okay, well you can say the same thing about Trump.
No, you cannot say the same thing about Donald Trump.
It's the pandemic though. Like that was.
He did not inherit the pandemic.
Okay, the pandemic happened under him though. Correct.
Correct. And we don't blame Donald Trump for the economy under the pandemic.
But then you talk about how his economy was so terrible and it was so awful.
No, I don't say that Donald Trump's economy was terrible or awful. I say that he inherited the economy from Obama.
Biden and Harris's economy is better than Trump's economy. And that's simply not true. I think it was something like $1,700 more on average per month for an average family in America.
Yeah, but why?
Inflation.
Yeah, okay. What caused inflation?
What caused inflation? Them spending money on things that they shouldn't be spending money on.
Like what?
Like sending money overseas.
To who?
Literally everybody else.
You're saying like to Ukraine?
Right. I mean, don't you
so
think that's
what we're sending to Ukraine is primarily old weapons that are sitting in our reserves. We're not like just giving them bags of cash. So how is giving Ukraine a missile that's sitting in our reserves and collecting dust inflationary?
Well, we're also giving them money. Like they talk about
No. We're giving in terms of what we're sending, the amount we're giving them in money is like this big. It's a very, 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 very small percentage. And that's mostly for humanitarian aid for like food and water. So any of the money, also, I want to be clear that Donald Trump gave like $40 billion a year in foreign assistance when he was president.
And I didn't agree with that. And I didn't agree with that.
Okay. But the point, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, first of all, you should agree with funding Ukraine. That's like anybody that disagrees with that is crazy.
Why though? Like why though?
Okay, I'll explain that in just a second. But the point is that Trump did it as well, and it wasn't inflationary because sending aid to foreign nations in the forms of like missiles that we made 20 years ago that are sitting in a cargo place somewhere is not inflationary. It doesn't raise inflation whatsoever. So like you can't, there's nothing that you can point to that Biden or Harris or any Democrat did in the past 4 years that raised inflation.
Okay, what about the giveaway programs for illegal immigrants?
What giveaway? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like what federal policy gave money to undocumented immigrants?
Like all of them. Like
okay, so that's
all
not
of them. Wow.
That's not an answer. Undocumented migrants don't qualify for federal programs.
Cell phone. They get picked up at the border. They can.
This is just not true. If you're undocumented, you do not get any of this stuff. If you're an asylum seeker, you get a phone. If you're an asylum seeker, you get a phone that has a CPP1 app that allows you to track your court date. But you can't download Flappy Birds or anything on your goddamn phone. All it is a phone that allows you to track your court date. You don't get to like go on the App Store or go on Instagram and things like that.
Flappy Bird. That's the least.
What? I can't hear you when you're talking while I'm speaking. What did you say?
They should have Flappy Bird. At least let them have Flappy Bird.
Okay. So do you have an objection to what we actually said or no?
I do actually.
Okay.
So when they come over, then they just say that they're asylum seekers, and then they're just giving money, giving housing.
They're not just giving a bunch of cash and giving a bunch of housing. That's not how the asylum program works. Also, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tried to pass a law that rewrote the asylum laws to make it harder for people who it didn't apply to claim asylum, and Donald Trump and the Republicans killed that bill.
Because of Fort Barron.
Because of what else was in the bill?
We don't know because we'd have to pass it first. Isn't that what Pelosi
No, you
said?
do not have to. What are you talking about? These bills are released are public. Like, you can read the text beforehand. We have the text of the bill, and it wasn't passed.
Okay, well, link it because I would like to see that.
It was. What'd you say?
Can you link it so that we can?
Yeah,
see
you can just look. I mean, sure, I can pull up if you want. I mean, it's over 300 pages.
I mean, that's fine. I have time.
I'm not going to read you the bill, but
Well, I mean, I can read for myself, believe it or not. I know you probably don't believe me because I voted for Trump.
no,
but
that's. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can read the bill, but I'm like, what are you asking me to like link, like bring it up right now?
you don't know, just like I don't know, in your bio or something, or in the comments.
Oh, you should just look up like the National Security Border Bill text PDF or something like that. It'll come up. It's called the. I actually don't. It's
I'll find it. It's okay. I'll look.
It's the Border Act of 2024.
I wanted to talk about Amber Thurman also because that's absolutely horrible.
Talk about what?
Amber Thurman.
Sure.
Shouldn't that fall in North Carolina?
No.
And well, I think Nurse Heather would know more about this. And first, let me preface this by saying that I have the utmost respect for labor and delivery nurses. I have 4 children of my own, and the first one I almost died because I had a hemorrhage. So, in North Carolina,
And then you voted for Trump for what? Sorry.
That's a good question.
it's okay. You're Canadian, so it really doesn't matter. But
No.
anyway, I was going to say that North Carolina,
Okay.
administered the medication and then sent her back to Georgia.
I think Nurse Heather is lagging right now. Not 100% sure, but
I am not.
are you there?
Give me a second. I am here. Are you
Okay.
here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Just gonna throw this one out here. Canadian trained, American trained nurses, we all take the same state licensing board state licensing exam. I can practice in the States the same as I can practice in Canada, so it makes no difference on this topic. So, yeah, like, so for example, one of the medications that they would have given you when you hemorrhaged in Louisiana, they changed the classification of that medication to Schedule 5. It has to be locked up in a safe.
Which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So now they have to do timed drills
Ridiculous.
for in the event of a postpartum hemorrhage that they can get that medication. The center that I work at, that medication is kept in the drawer at the bedside of a delivering
As
mother.
it should be.
So yes, but now with these abortion laws, this is the kind of thing that's happening.
Right. And I just look, I didn't support that. And that's on the Supreme Court. I don't see where Trump or Kamala could really do anything about it. I felt like if Kamala could have, if she could have, Biden could have, and he didn't.
It's called not appointing conservative Supreme Court justices to the court, or just alternatively not electing Republican presidents so they don't appoint conservative justices to the Supreme Court.
I'm just saying. So okay, so when Kamala,
So then why would you, if you're like, wait, hold on, if you blame the Supreme Court for that, you're like, oh yeah, it's the Supreme Court, then why would you then once again vote for Donald Trump, who would appoint more of these people to the Supreme Court, leading to more anti-women, I would say, decisions?
I don't know what you mean by that. But, I would like to know how Harris was going to change it. That's what I would like to know. Because she said that she was going to reverse it, and I would like to know how she was going to reverse it.
Well, she wanted to do her level best to codify Roe v. Wade.
And in what way would she have done that?
Well, through
Congress.
Your democratic processes.
Yeah, through Congress.
Biden.
Through Congress.
So Biden tried. The Democrats actually introduced bills to codify Roe v. Wade. Republicans voted against those bills, or they filibustered it. Republicans also voted against a bill that would protect a right to IVF. They voted against a bill that would protect a right to contraception, and they voted against a bill that would have protected the right to an abortion. All this happened before the election, by the way.
I think it was taxpayer funded.
No.
It was specifically taxpayer funded.
No.
Just no.
You can't. There's no taxpayer funding for abortion.
They were trying to, though. Was that not part of the issue?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's what I was saying. So I don't know.
That would violate what I think it's called the Hyde Amendment.
I also want to touch on, you mentioned trans rights. I was curious. So the ADA, I don't know if you know this or not, but trans people can get benefits through the ADA
subscription
because they have it.
I think she's lagging. Yeah.
Is it me?
I think it's her.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't sure if there was a question there that I even understood.
Okay, my question was, the ADA has classified trans as a mental disability. And I was just made aware of that.
Not
Did
true.
you know
The DSM does
about
not
it?
say
Were you
that.
aware?
The DSM does not. You're talking about gender dysphoria, and there are cis individuals, which cis means not trans, that have gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is not exclusive to trans people.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is the American Disability Association, the ADA, and I saw a woman, and she was worried about her son being cut off because he is post. He identifies as post-human, so he is a cat, and she is worried about losing her money that she gets every month for him being post-human.
I'm sorry. I'm really glad you guys can't see my face right now.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
can
Like,
imagine.
what? Like, I don't understand. Like, why though? Like,
Why? What? What's the question here? Are you just like trying to poke fun at somebody or what?
As a cat, they
Yeah, this-
probably have bigger mental conditions that need to be addressed.
I mean, probably so, but I'm not gonna sit here and judge. I'm just saying the ADA has that listed.
Sounds like you're doing just that.
Post-humanism on the same level as trans, and that isn't. I'm asking, like, do you agree with that? Like, do you think that that's an accurate qualification, and that they should be getting money every month, tax-dollar money for that?
You're saying, wait, say that again. So you're saying that.
So post-humanism?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
It's this boy. He's under the age of 18. It's a child.
I'm looking this up right now. There's nothing on this, by the way, that the ADA gives. Post-humanism being supported by the ADA, getting money for that. That's not a thing.
There is actually, because she was all over TikTok about it.
Okay, so being on TikTok does not mean that it's actually a thing. Like you just being like, oh well, this woman on
So
TikTok.
I mean, I would imagine.
You can't believe everything you see.
Like in this case, what would be going on is this individual has probably got other, like mental health conditions going on that would qualify them as being able to access disability. I mean, what I'm looking at, humanism looks like it's a philosophical thing, not even a medical.
If you go to the ADA's website, you'll be able to find it. But no, I was just curious as to what your thoughts and opinions were on it.
I'm looking at the ADA website right now. I'm looking this up, and I'm not seeing anything about like post-humanism. I don't know what that.
Put in post-humanism and put in disability. I'll put it in Google. That'll help you better.
Say that again.
Post-humanism.
I just did that. I just put in post-humanism ADA, and there's the ADA website doesn't even come up. There's nothing on it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm the only one.
I'm just looking for a list of disabilities on the ADA right now.
Yeah, it also looks like it's more of like I think as Nurse said, like a philosophical thing.
It's philosophical. It's not
What is philosophical? Like, what do you mean?
Post-humanism.
Okay, so what's the technical term, the medical term?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we don't know what medical term you're referencing because you're just saying like post-humanism. I don't know.
I mean, that was the first time I'd heard about it, and that's what brought it to my attention because I was like, that can't be a thing because she says that she's receiving like $12,000 a month, and I was like, $12,000 a month, I can do that. But anyway,
I think that you were right. That's not a thing.
well, I'm just saying. And so I went to the website, and it did show trans as being protected under the ADA and listed as a mental.
It's not being transgender is not protected under the ADA. Gender dysphoria is, but again, you're not 100% like there. As Parker said, cisgender people who have gender dysphoria.
Right, I understand gender dysphoria. I do. I understand it. But that's not the point. Like, it was trans.
But it's not trans. It's not being trans. You're saying gender dysphoria is covered, but if you're just transgender, you don't qualify for the ADA.
You can be transgender without having gender dysphoria.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't think that that's true. I think that they do have gender dysphoria.
Okay, so literally, like no expert in this field or scientist agrees with you.
That's fine.
Oh, that's fine. What do you mean? How can you be so comfortable in your ignorance?
Well, I'm not, because I'm not ignorant.
Well,
I'm just
by the way, you were just talking about post-humanism.
okay. Look, I'm just telling you, like, there's people out there that support it. You know, like that their kid's a cat, or I'm a cat, and we should be treated as such, or like, you know, furries or whatever, and how they should be like legitimate.
I don't even know how that responds to what I just said, but point is that being transgender is not covered by the ADA. That is what it is. And even if you think, well, you know, there's something wrong with them, then I'm sorry, it's just not congruent with science. And you can be comfortable in your ignorance. You can sit there and say, well, I think it is, but I hope you're just comfortable with being wrong, and you should be uncomfortable with that. But if you are, then
I've been wrong before. I'm you know, big enough to admit that, but I'm not wrong about this one.
You're wrong about this one.
Okay, that's okay. That's your opinion.
It's not. No, it's not. I'm not even. It's not my opinion. It's just fact. You are wrong about this.
Just because it's your opinion doesn't make it fact. Like,
I'm not saying that just because it's my opinion makes it fact, but you're saying something that's just not. It's just not factually backed up by anything.
Whatever doctor, psychologist agrees with what you're saying.
It's not a specific psychologist or doctor that agrees with what I'm saying. It's the scientific community as a whole.
Yeah, Ty just sent me $2 and said that I'm trans and I do not experience dysphoria.
Well, okay. Well, good luck to Ty.
Suzanne, thanks for the $10. I appreciate you. And Jordan, thanks for the $1. And Colleen, thanks for the $1. I appreciate you.
Last thing is, you mentioned that the maternal death rate would rise after the overturning of Roe versus Wade. It looks like it's went down, going by the CDC's website. If you go and look at the CDC's website, like, the maternal death rate in America and in the West, we have the highest maternal death rate pre Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, so in specific states with abortion bans, it's gone up. So in Texas, it's gone up 56%.
For maternal death rates.
Yeah, maternal mortality. Yep.
Yeah, and your national average has gone up 11%.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting that. We went down.
The CDC's website, right before I got on here, like, I looked it up, and that's what it was showing. The CDC's website shows that on average for America that it is down. And
I'm not seeing that on the CDC website. I'm actually seeing that it's going up right now. And I think the latest data they have is from, I don't know, at least from now, it's showing from 2021, there was a 40% increase from 20 to 2021. Now, that's pre-Roe v. Wade being overturned, but still.
So it was higher pre-Roe v. Wade.
No, there's no comparison to data now. I'm not seeing the data that's for 2023. It's probably the latest year they have, but I'm just saying that the data we have right now shows an increase. But that's aside from the conversation of Roe v. Wade. But in Texas, maternal mortality rate went up 56%.
I mean, so did the illegal population. So
it went up 56%.
I don't know how many did it go up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
I mean, is that just an attempt to a gotcha? Or what was that? What was the point of it?
That wasn't to say I got you. That was just, I'm not surprised. But
what?
That you wouldn't know.
No, I'm well, how did that have anything to do with maternal mortality rate?
The influx of millions of illegal immigrants into America.
Yeah, they're not illegal. They're actually legal. The majority of the people coming in right now are legal.
Not documented, and then you come across the border, you are illegal.
Yeah. So
no, the people that are coming in, the majority of people coming in right now are seeking asylum, which is a legal process.
Right. So not really. Not when you don't have to show up to your court date. Like the majority of us
No, majority of people who seek asylum actually do show up for their court date, especially when they're represented by a lawyer. Over 95% of people do show up for their court date if they have a lawyer. If they don't have a lawyer, it's around mid to high 80s of percent of people show up for their court dates. So this is just incorrect.
Okay, it's just incorrect. Okay, so who's paying for those lawyers?
We, the taxpayers, are paying for the lawyers.
Taxpayers. Okay, and you don't see how that falls on Biden and Harris, and how
they were paid for under Donald Trump as well.
Not to the extent it is under Biden and Harris, because the
if there's a need for more representation and more lawyers, there might be more money for from the federal government to pay for these lawyers. But this is still if Donald Trump were in office and there was this amount of people seeking asylum, and there was a need for more lawyers, Donald Trump and his administration, the federal government, all taxpayers would still be paying for it.
Right, but what didn't happen under Trump. It happened under Biden and
It
Harris.
did happen under Donald Trump. There were people that came in seeking asylum, and those lawyers were paid for by the government.
Not to this extent, and you know it, and I know it. Nobody knows it.
I'm not denying that there's an influx of people seeking asylum, but just to be clear, people seeking asylum are legal. They're here legally. So you're talking about millions of undocumented people. Can you be quiet, please? Thank you. So when you're talking about, can you be quiet? When you're talking about millions of undocumented people, this is just factually. Can you be quiet, please? This is just factually incorrect. The majority of people that have come in recent years are seeking asylum, which again is a legal process. And again, under Donald Trump, lawyers are paid for people that are seeking asylum and things like that. You're muted, by the way. Now, Maud took you out. Thankfully, you got to figure it
I'll
out.
take the opportunity to throw in one thing about the maternal mortality thing here with regards to migrants. A lot of those people are low socioeconomic status. There are people who are low socioeconomic status, migrants, your African American population, sort of groups in general, they're going to be far more prone to adverse health outcomes in general, including things like maternal mortality rates. And they're not going to have access to the healthcare that people who are like native-born Americans or citizens, landed immigrants, asylum seekers, or higher net worth individuals have.
Do I now have permission?
So it's pretty complicated.
It is complicated. It is complicated, but it shouldn't be. I feel like the American people who are actually paying for it, that they should be first in line, and that's why I don't think that Trump is terrible.
First in line for what?
First in line for medical care. I think
they're first in line. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know the illegal immigrants. They are. Yeah, and that's why
No, undocumented. There's no like first in line for medical care. I don't even know what that means.
I think that we should prioritize the American people.
I can assure you that in the healthcare system, the American people are prioritized.
Okay, well, not from my experience. So
I don't know what your experience is with undocumented migrants in the healthcare system, but yeah, the American people are absolutely 1,000% prioritized when it comes to the healthcare system. Because again, a lot of these undocumented migrants, they don't have health insurance. So how on earth could you possibly claim that they are being prioritized in the healthcare system if they don't have health insurance? And the American people, a lot of them do.
Do I have permission to speak now? Because I let you speak, so
I finished speaking, so now you can speak. That's typically how conversations go.
I have your
It's not permission. You just kept speaking over me while I was trying to make a point and nobody could hear you. So now typically how conversations go is when I'm done speaking and I made a point to you, you can respond. Absolutely.
Okay. So when they come here, they're given medical insurance under asylum, whatever you want to call it, under asylum or whatever you want to call it. I think that we should be using that. Yeah.
What health insurance are they being given?
Medicare and Medicaid.
They're not being given Medicare and Medicaid. If you're an undocumented migrant or even on asylum, you do not get Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay, that's factually false.
Please prove me wrong.
I mean, Google. I can't because I'll be kicked off of it.
You
can.
Sure. Let's look this up.
I mean, it's right in front of you.
Are you asking about undocumented migrants?
Well, I'm telling you that you need to check that statistic for yourself because I already know. And I don't see why that is a bad thing to want the American people for their money that they're paying into the system to go to the American people. I don't understand what's wrong with that. I don't see why that's an issue.
Say that again.
Why is it an issue to want the American taxpayer dollars to go to the Americans?
We perfectly happy with that, but we all recognize that there are things that need funding.
Right, by the
in the United States. So I'm reading it right here that once immigrants meet the residency requirements, eligibility and enrollment work the same as they do for others. But those residency requirements are being legal. Legal immigrants who are age 65 or older who do not have work history can purchase Medicare Part A after residing legally in the U.S. for 5 years continuously. Legal immigrants under age 65 with disabilities may also qualify for Medicare, but typically first must meet the same eligibility requirements for SSDI that apply to citizens, which are based on work history, paying Social Security, having enough years of Social Security, etc. New immigrants are not eligible for Medicare regardless of their age. Once immigrants meet their residency requirements.
Okay, immigrants or asylum seekers?
I'm just talking about immigrants generally. We're going claim by claim right now. Also, I have a fact check here. No, undocumented immigrants aren't eligible for Social Security and Medicare. This is a claim that Donald Trump made, but of course the answer is not true. Of course.
All right. So, okay, undocumented, is that different from asylum seeker? Is that different?
Yeah, that is different. Yes.
All those are different.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. I was just curious because asylum seeker, that's still a person that came here. They say they're seeking asylum, but
They're not eligible for asylum seekers are also not eligible for Medicare.
All right. What website are you on?
This is referencing KAF, the Social Security Administration, a number of different websites. But yeah, there's no pathway for an asylum seeker to get Medicare or Medicaid or Social Security.
I mean, that's just not true. Though.
Please prove me wrong. I'm reading. I have it right in front of me right now.
Gabbard and San Diego.
I have it in front of me right now.
Cool. Go to the. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, we know that Harris's team, paid for certain articles to shed her.
See, here's the thing. You like, I don't understand what the point of you even like engaging a conversation is, because I'm reading you things about how you're wrong and how like undocumented migrants don't get this, asylum seekers don't get this, and then your response is no, I don't care what it says, I know I'm right. Kamala Harris like planted these articles. Can't you just like step out of your own like belief system for a second and realize that maybe you don't know everything and maybe you're wrong about something that asylum seekers also like just to clarify, what process would an asylum seeker even go through to get Medicare?
I mean, why would they come all the way from Venezuela when they could have stopped in Mexico or however many different?
Because there's a lot of benefits in terms of working the United States economy versus the Mexican economy. We are the biggest economy on the earth, so there's more opportunity here. But just hold on, because this is actually getting annoying. That no matter how much I like read something to you or fact check you, you just say no, I'm right, no matter what. What process could an asylum seeker even go through to get Medicare or Social Security? How would that work?
The reason I brought it up.
No. I don't care about the reason you brought it up. I'm asking you a simple question. What process could an asylum seeker go through to get Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security?
Whatever ones they're going through to get it. I mean, duh.
Okay, so that, do you not hear how like dumb of an answer that is, respectfully? That whatever what system do they go through? Just whatever system they're using to go get it. It's not happening. So please elaborate to everybody watching, the 7,400 people sitting here. How are undocumented migrants or asylum seekers getting any of these benefits?
Harry, I don't know how the system works. I just know that.
So then, why are you sitting here acting as if you are an expert on this, or that when I'm fact checking you on something, you automatically just double down and say, "No, I don't care. I don't care what it says. I'm right."
No, Harry, I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying you're right. Okay,
I'm not saying you're right. You're saying that's not true. You were just saying a second ago that Kamala Harris was planting articles.
May I respond, please, sir?
If it's coherent and factual. If it's not, I'm gonna have to jump in.
I have read in other articles.
Facebook doesn't count.
I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about TikTok. I'm talking about like CNN articles. Just
you
name it. Okay, Harry. I'm just telling you.
You've not read a CNN article telling you that asylum seekers are getting Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security. You're not reading a Fox News article that's even saying that. There's no major news organization out there that's saying that undocumented migrants are getting Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. You just made this up on the spot, and you're trying to double down on this. It's super strange. You can't even identify a mechanism of which any of these people would be able to get any of these benefits. You're saying you don't even know how they'd be able to do that. So maybe just don't push this crap.
It seems like they just show up and then they're giving it to them. So that's what it seems like.
Based off of what? I always find it like baffling when Trump supporters say they're getting money, they're getting housing, they're getting Medicare, and Social Security. The idea that like immigrants are treated well in this country is insane. Immigrants are treated so poorly. They don't have the right to any of these federal programs. If they are poor, it's just kind of like you're kind of screwed. You don't even get to, if you're an undocumented migrant, you don't even get to qualify for like federal programs to help you. It's like the idea that, they're just given all of these benefits when they walk into the country. What planet are you living on?
Why would they risk their life to even get here?
Do you like the lack of critical thinking and like the privilege of what you're saying right now? Why? Let's just think about this, right? Why would somebody in a country that might be like have a lot of crime, a lot of gangs, risk their lives to like save their kids and get a better life? I don't know. Maybe it's because they want to save their kids and get a better life.
Military age men. The majority is military age men. It's not women and children, Harry.
Historically, that's not true. And also, wait, I'm sorry. Are men between the ages of like 18 and 34 not wanting to seek a better life for themselves? Like, what are you talking about?
Like it's women and children. You literally
Women
said
and children are also coming over. In the recent years, children have made up of 20% of the people that have been seeking asylum.
What's happening in India that they need to come over here? What's happening in China that they need to come over here? What's
Do you
happening?
not know about the extreme poverty that exists in India?
Do you know about the extreme poverty that exists in America?
See, this is just lack of there's poverty in the United States, but the poverty in India compared to the poverty in the United States are two totally different things.
It should be addressed, though.
I totally agree that poverty should be. Hold on, I totally agree that poverty should be addressed in the United States. Don't know how that connects to the conversation we were just having, but yeah, we both agree. But then again, you turn around and then vote for Donald Trump, who tried to cut programs that help people out of poverty. Like Donald Trump tried and successfully cut hundreds of thousands of people off of SNAP, which is food benefits, hungry children. He proposed budgets every single year that cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. He's starting a government agency, quote unquote, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy called the Department of Government Efficiency, which is seeking to cut a bunch of social programs.
I'll say my phone is about to die, and I don't want it to cut off on you and seem disrespectful, okay? Because I really do appreciate your time and you taking the time to have these conversations.
I'm happy to do it, but you can't be putting this crap out there.
Okay, it's not crap. Like it's literally I've read
crap.
I've heard firsthand accounts of this. Okay,
Uncle Jerry on Facebook is not a firsthand account.
No, but Border Patrol agents that are family members. Like
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. You're telling me you know Border Patrol agents who have told you that asylum seekers are just given Medicare when they walk in? They need to not be working on Border Patrol anymore then.
Okay, well then you go do their job, Harry. You go do it.
I'm not. No. I'm not saying I should go and somebody else should go work their job. But if you're a Border Patrol agent, you're a federal agent of the government, and you don't understand that undocumented migrants or asylum seekers are not just being given Medicare and Medicaid when they walk across the border, then I don't know what to tell you.
Personal, first-hand accounts. That's all I'm saying.
Do you not understand that just knowing somebody, even if you, let's just say, I think you're not telling the truth, but let's just say hypothetically, you know somebody who's a Border Patrol agent who says, all these migrants are just getting Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. Would you not look that up? Would you not fact check them first to make, because, just because somebody's a Border Patrol agent doesn't mean they understand Medicare.
Right, because they're too stupid, right?
No, it's not because they're too stupid. It's because they're two totally different things. Why do you always, again, what's with the victim shit? I say something of two totally different things. You're like, oh, they must be just too stupid. No, they're just two totally different things.
Ignorant. And you have this condescending tone where you just feel like
I'm sorry. It's hard to not be condescending when you're coming up here and you're saying that asylum seekers are getting Medicare and Medicaid and you can't even identify how they'd be able to do that in the first place.
Okay, well, I would like for you to explain to me what other point is there to come here when there was so many other countries in between where they left from to here. And you're telling me that none of those other countries, they're all just completely wrecked with gangs and violence and poverty.
No, I'm not saying that every country in Southern America is wrecked with gangs and violence. What I am saying is that the United States has the most developed economy in the world. We are the most successful country in the world. We're the most wealthy country in the world. There's obviously an attraction there for people who are suffering. If you're just in Mexico, for example, let's just use Mexico, and you don't have a job. Maybe the town that you're living in, specific to you, has gang presence or whatever. Maybe you're just heavily impoverished, whatever it might be. If you see the United States, which is the most successful country in the world, why? Of course you have an incentive to go to that country and try your luck, because so many people who are immigrants, and we hear about this all the time, who have very successful stories of coming to the United States and then building themselves up, building a family, and living happily ever after. So there's a lot of incentive for people to try to come to the United States.
And they're not helped by taxpayers at all. They're just...
If you're an undocumented migrant, there's no helping you from the taxpayers. The undocumented migrants do not get help. Asylum seekers, to the extent that they're helped, get a phone with one app, and you get a lawyer if you don't have one, right? That represents you at your asylum trial or your asylum case in front of a judge.
How does that work? What's the process? Can you tell me the process for that?
For what specifically?
Specifically for asylum seekers to get their phone and their lawyer.
Yeah, so your lawyer will be assigned to you at some point, right?
Okay, so your Medicare will be assigned to you at some point. Your food stamps.
There's no assigning you Medicare. The American people aren't even assigned Medicare.
How would you stay here? That's fallacy.
This is great. This is really good.
Fallacy.
Because through the CBP One app, that you track your court date. There's no app on the CBP on your phone that that asylum seekers are given that they can sign up for Medicare.
Right, but you don't think they have social workers to help them?
That's if you're an asylum seeker and you try to get Medicare, you will be rejected. You could have any worker in the country try to help you. You cannot legally, as an asylum seeker, get Medicare.
Okay. Well, all right. If you say so. Thank you.
It's not what I say. It's the law. It's the law.
Okay. The law changes, but that's fine.
The law has the law changed?
Yeah.
Really? Who changed it?
Biden and Harris.
Really? What law changed it? What bill did they pass changed the law that asylum seekers could get Medicare now?
Well, I mean, I can't name you the exact.
Exactly, because it doesn't fucking exist.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
It's the vernacular going from illegal immigrant to asylum seeker, because we're not going to call them that.
There's no going.
Asylum seekers.
Oh my god. There's no going from to this. Right? When you enter the country, there's no like, oh, you crossed the border illegally, now you're an asylum seeker at the border.
They claim asylum.
If you come to the border and you claim asylum, you can't just like go back and forth. You can't pick, oh, I'm an undocumented migrant now I'm an asylum seeker.
Yeah, and then they go to sanctuary cities.
I don't know how this connects to the conversation we're having here. If you're an asylum seeker, you don't have to go to a sanctuary city. And there are plenty of undocumented migrants who are not in sanctuary cities. I don't even know what you're just like pulling out all the buzzwords right now. You're saying, oh, undocumented migrant, Medicare, Social Security, asylum, sanctuary cities.
They don't exist. Sanctuary cities don't exist.
I did not say that sanctuary cities do not exist.
Right, so it's just a buzzword that I made up because I'm.
No, you're just like trying to hit all the bases, right? You're trying to hit all the bases that comes with like a conversation on migration, which is like, oh, let's make sure to talk about every single thing the Republicans love to like put out there.
Yeah, factual information. There are sanctuaries.
You are yet to state a single fact in this conversation. Again, just a moment ago, you were claiming that Joe Biden changed the law so that asylum seekers can get Medicare, and you couldn't name the law.
That's a fact.
It's okay. What law changed? What law did Biden pass that allowed Medicare to be given to asylum seekers?
You show me. I can't.
It doesn't exist. I can't show you. I'm not. The burden of proof is on you.
And if I try to look it up, it'll kick me off.
You can go out of TikTok and go look it up.
I can't actually, but it's okay.
Here, you tell me.
Yes, you can. Wait. We're literally on TikTok every single day. How are you going to tell us how TikTok works?
On my phone. I'm at 2% on my phone.
No. I'll do you a solid. You tell me what to look up right now.
Look up the law.
Yeah. So what am I looking up? What if you were going to do this yourself? What would you type in?
Look for Biden. Look for vernacular change of illegal immigrant to asylum seeker.
Wait, what? I thought
You know what the word vernacular means?
I don't think
she doesn't. She has no clue.
Means.
She doesn't. She has no clue. She's just an ignorant Trump voter. But I'm not alone. Like over 80%. I mean, he won the electoral vote and he won the popular vote. So there's that.
That doesn't respond to anything we just said, but that's fine. I know I literally just made a video about this today about how like Trump voters are the sorest winners ever. How like you guys are still celebrating this victory, and all you do is fall when you can't like justify or back yourself up in an argument with like
you're like we won.
You just fall back on, oh well, Trump won, and that somehow justifies your entire viewpoint.
You're saying, oh well, you're just hitting all of these bases. When you hit all the bases, that's called a
home run. You're going from thing to thing to thing. You're hitting all the bases.
Yeah, home run. Score Trump. MAGA.
This
is what happens when you just.
It is. This is what happens.
This is what happens when brain rot.
Yeah, this is what happens when your brain is just rotting.
It is. It's rotting because I can think for myself.
You can't. Okay, you cannot say.
Wait, Ren, I have a question. Who won the 2020 election?
Ren, listen,
who won the
Parker.
2020 election?
Biden won, obviously.
Okay, so Trump doesn't live within reality?
Say it again.
So Trump doesn't live within reality because he can't accept the results of the 2020 election?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, man. I don't know. There's been crazier people that ran the country.
But apparently you're an expert in migration now, to the point where you said that the law was changed to allow asylum seekers to get Medicare, which, by the way, I looked it up. There's nothing.
I can't tell you the law, but I know the vernacular changed.
Surprising.
You're still using the word vernacular and you don't know what it means.
Can you define vernacular,
Yeah, can you please define vernacular for us?
Vernacular?
Yes.
It's the wording that they're using to describe.
Vernacular does not mean
vernacular doesn't mean wording, no.
Okay, what's vernacular mean?
Not wording.
Okay, well, the point is the wording, and I know you get that, and that's okay. That's okay.
You could just say the wording, but vernacular is like the language that's spoken among people.
Privileged enough, I can tell that you are privileged enough to receive a better education, but that doesn't.
Ren, Ren, when you're saying this, all you just mean is verbiage.
Okay. Yes, thank
You
you
just
so
meant
much.
verbiage.
The verbiage has changed, dude. I'm gonna follow you back for that, simply because that was cool. Thank you, appreciate that. The verbiage changed, Harry. The verbiage.
Okay, so there's no law that changed the verbiage surrounding whether asylum seekers can get Medicare and Medicaid.
They just switched it up to be like, boom.
What was that?
They just switched up the verbiage.
The there's no law that was passed through Congress that changed the verbiage regarding asylum seekers and their ability to get federal programs like Medicare.
They just said that they're not illegal. They're asylum seekers now.
There's no verbiage that has changed. There's no law that has changed. I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I have to repeat this, but no law was changed that suddenly allowed asylum seekers to get Medicare and Medicaid.
Or federal benefits of any sort.
You cannot, no.
At all.
Nope, there's no federal benefits. In terms of
At all.
any of these, they can't get SNAP, they can't get Medicare, Medicaid, they can't get that stuff, no.
Okay, Harry. Well, thank you for your time, and you, Parker, and you also, Nurse Heather.
All right, have a good one. I appreciate you coming up. All right, I'm wrapping up the live there, everybody. I appreciate both Parker and Nurse Heather coming up, guys. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Gotta go
guys.
live.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one, everybody. All right, ladies, gents, boys, and girls, everybody in between. Thanks for being here. That was incredibly painful. That conversation probably could have been cut short by like 30 minutes. But hold on now. Hold on. Jen, thanks. I appreciate you on Venmo. Thank you so much. Cruz, thanks for the 10 cents. I'm the son of an undocumented immigrant parents with friends that are asylum seekers. Bring me up. That would have been, hold on. Sorry. Probably would have been, I wish I would have seen the message. I apologize. Can the lighting fix itself, please? What are we doing here? Come on. What are we doing? Katrina, thanks for the $10, but thanks for your patience of banging my head on the wall. Trust me. I felt that in here. Zoe, thanks for the $1. Hi, Harry. I'm an immigration lawyer on the live. I'd love to come up about, again, another person I wish I would have seen the message and brought you up. But next time, for sure, let's get you up here. Jake, thanks for the $1. Ren did her research in the dumpster. I can't read that, Ren. Jake, I appreciate the $1, man. Thank you. Emma, thanks for the $1. I should have done that. And Cheney, thanks for the $10 as well. Let me make sure I'm just getting everybody. Just want to make sure we thank everybody. Katrina, thanks for the $1. As a MSW, no, we don't help them get benefits. Yeah. Harmony, thanks for the $2 as well. Michelle, thanks for the $2. Kendall, thanks for the $15 as well. I appreciate you. And Kelly, thanks for the $25. You are fantastic. And Karen, thanks for the $1 as well. It just came in right now. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap up the live there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you all for supporting, for liking, all that good stuff. I don't know did Parker say he's going live? Somebody said, let's raid Parker. Yeah, if Parker's going live, definitely go give Parker a raid for sure. He is. It is. He's Parker Get a Job is going live right now. So everybody go show Parker some love. Go raid him. He raided us. Go raid him back. All that good stuff. But before you do so, make sure to follow on TikTok. We do these lives all of the time. Also follow on all the social media platforms. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook. All of those links are in my bio if you'd be so kind to go follow them. Crawley, thanks for the subscription. So go support on all those different platforms. And then on top of that, I hope you have an amazing day tomorrow. It's a Monday. It's the beginning of the week. So have a great start to your week. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Be productive or see some people you love. Whatever you want to do tomorrow, do your thing. You'll have a great one. And I appreciate you again. Parker's is Parker Get a Job. He's live right now. So go rate Parker. Go show him some love. Go like up the live. All of that good stuff. Because he rated us, we rate him back. You know how it goes. It goes back and forth. So go show Parker some love. We appreciate you. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We will talk soon. Enjoy yourself. And all right.